Welcome everyone to Nerd of the Rings. We are back in Khazad-dûm. We have returned to Moria, and naturally the first thing we did was make a dwarf column. We are six high here. This is pretty impressive, guys, I have to say.
We needed some rope ladders to help us out, of course.
Yes, we did. Yes, Yoiston hooked us up with the rope ladders. As you could probably tell by the title, folks, today we are looking at the brand new update. So this actually doesn't come out till tomorrow, but the folks at Return to Moria hooked us up so we could play around with it, show you guys some of the new features tonight early. So this is an update that you'll find tomorrow if you fire up the game. And you see there's actually a 7th dwarf down there. It's very appropriate that we have 7 dwarves here, by the way. Dumont is none other than John Paul Dumont, the game director for Return to Moria. John Paul, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh man, thanks for having me. I'm so excited. We've been working really hard on this update, and there's a lot in it, so it's going to take us a while to see it all.
That's awesome. Well, we've brought in our dwarves from our previous game, so I'm going to go ahead and break the column here. So we're all armored up in our various armors. We opted for that rather than starting fresh, which you can do if you want to do that in Sandbox Mode. You want to start fresh, you can. John Paul's got an awesome wolf head on him there with a barrel. Yeah. So he's been serving us ale already. John Paul, you said you had some surprises for us in the chests here.
Yeah, I tossed in the chests one or a couple of a lot of the new stuff that we're putting out. If you guys want to check it out. So we got some new shields, helmets, weapons, and you can also see the updated VFX on some of the ruined weapons, which is pretty exciting. So anything you get excited about, grab.
Man.
Oh, I love this almost Radagast looking hat here.
Gondorian shield, ornamental shield. I kind of like that ornamental shield.
I'll equip it, and then Matt, you can look at it. Look at this axe. Oh wow, dude, I like this. Oh.
Wow. Awesome.
All right, let's try
dude.
this.
I love this axe.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll grab my favorite, the two-handed little uppercut on a troll's face.
So is that a new
Long bottom hat.
movement
Oh,
set?
a spiked helmet.
Yeah, from the Red Mountains.
These sound effects are awesome.
I like that spiked helmet. Okay.
Yeah, the combat, we have the updated VFX. We also added some, we did another pass at sound and combat. And when you go in, although we're going to beat up some orcs pretty bad with our Elder Game stuff. But when you start fighting, you'll see that we've retuned the pace of combat to give you a little bit more chance to land your combos. Big combos really knock back orcs in a way they didn't before, and just adding more sound and VFX, try to get a little more weight and oomph behind fighting.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really. I like the charge. I noticed you changed the charge slightly. It doesn't. It's more like. It feels a lot better. It's real. Cool.
Yeah, feels a little smoother, a little faster, a little
And it
more
doesn't-
kinetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some really subtle sound cues when you hold it up. Our audio team did an awesome job on that.
I love
Well,
it
and
being ready.
I have to sing your praises again as well, just like we did before we went live. I mean, the lore of this game, you see it in the cosmetics, you can feel it in in playing the game and the music.
Yeah.
Just another great job for that. You guys did a
Really.
phenomenal job with that. So kudos
man.
to you all.
Thank you so much. It was a whole team effort. I mean, we started from the beginning saying, how do we make a game that felt like it was made by fans of the professor's work? And we did book clubs and read through everything, and we really made sure everyone on the team, not just me and Farah writing it, cared about it. And so I think you can see that all the way through.
That's awesome.
100.
Shout out to Robert, first super chat of the stream. Hype train for an awesome collab. Nerd of the Rings and Voice of the Rings joined for Lord of the Rings goodness. Yeah, it is. It's gonna be a fun time. So, where should we venture first here? Well, first of all, John Paul,
yeah.
tell us about Sandbox Mode. Basically, we had the map of Khazad-dûm, how it would be expected to be based on descriptions in the books. This kind of shuffles everything up in a blender and kind of gives us a random map, except for a couple touch points. Correct?
Yeah, it's kind of ironic you guys were talking about how much you love the story, because Sandbox, we ripped almost all of it out. So with the campaign, the story adventure that we shipped with, we really felt like we wanted the crossroads to be in the crossroads. We wanted the gates to be where they were. And it was important that we told a Lord of the Rings story that felt authentic. And over time, as we were developing it, it started to get a little bit more linear. And we felt like that was the right choice for the game we were making. But we always had in the back of our head, we've got all of this procedural generation in the system. What happens if we just take the handcuffs off? And so if you open up the map, you'll notice you can even scroll through right from the beginning that we reoriented everything according to how, the more traditional way of understanding Moria, that there are levels upward and deeps downward. And the further you get away from the middle, from the starting point, the harder it gets. So the higher up you go, the harder it gets, and the lower down you go, the harder it gets. And even though we know there's 7 levels and 7 deeps, we had to we started with a little bit smaller of a world this time. But yeah, it means that places that were just one big spot, like the Elven Quarter, are now we made it into a biome. And so there can be multiple Elven biomes, multiple Westgate style biomes, multiple Dwarven biomes, and they'll just get scrambled and be anywhere up and down in the mountain.
Wow, that's awesome.
And so in this way, every seed is going to be really different.
Yeah.
I should have made
Makes
myself
a
pick.
lot more replayability too.
Oh,
after you
yeah.
start the story once. That's friggin' awesome.
Yeah, and so we figure there are kind of two sort of people that we think two sort of players that we think would really enjoy this. People that really wanted a little bit more of what I'd call a like sort of naked and alone, straight up survival experience. Because it really does mean you don't know where to go, and it is a lot harder start than it is in campaign. We don't hold your hand. We don't give you little starter bases or anything like that. And we also feel like people that finished the game and want to experience it a different way, because it's fun to play the campaign again, but the campaign, you start to kind of see the patterns in the campaign, and this one really breaks a lot of those patterns.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Now, we've got some folks asking, Sam in the chat, I see, is asking about the game possibly getting released outside of just on Epic. John Paul, what's the latest on that?
Yeah, well, obviously we're on the Epic Game Store now. We're on the PlayStation 5, and we'll be releasing this update for the PlayStation 5 pretty soon. We'll have a date for that quickly. It's the next thing we're working on. And that will have all of the updates and iterations that we're showing, except for Sandbox Mode. We want to give it a little bit more time to bake before it comes to consoles. And then we are working on the Xbox version that is coming this year, along with the Steam version that will be coming this year. And we're hoping to have dates on those soon. I just don't have the exact date yet.
Yay.
So you mentioned your development team. How many developers are on this?
It depends on company priorities. So it's a smallish group. It's nowhere near a AAA size team.
And that's awesome. That's again a lot of passion. You can tell.
You guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, absolutely.
This game
Come
better
here.
than a lot of AAA.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had, I was talking before we started off about kind of the values of the team, and they were the things that we all tried to live. And one was the lore forward one, and the other one we always talked about was punch above our weight. And can we make a game that looks like it was made by a big team, but by a smaller team? I think we got there in some places.
Yeah, absolutely. I would totally say so.
Thank you for making the carvings easier to see from a distance.
You noticed that was That was one of my pet things because our creative director Michael Downing, he also does all the tuning. I think he was getting really tired of me playing and going, I can't find any carvings. There must not be any. Put 10,000 more in, and he's like, there's plenty of carvings. You just can't see them. But we also, we had a bug. I mentioned the patch list in the Discord today. I mentioned that the patch list is like 2,800 words long. One of those, as we found, is a lot of the carvings had this weird bug where they were falling through the world. So there were a lot of them. You just could never find them because they were all below the world. And so we fixed that bug, and then we made them easier to see. So now people hopefully will actually finish the Musnikons.
That's awesome. Yeah, I noticed that. Another thing I noticed right at the beginning that I wanted to ask you about was when you first come in, obviously the layout's different. It's a little more impressive. You just go through the halls and the music. That was the first thing I noticed when I played the
Yeah, we felt like we wanted to go really authentic at first, and so it was a lot of ambient sound in the game, like the cave. But over time, the community was they really were talking about like, hey, it can get a little lonely. We're really kind of missing music, and so we put an effort in to get. There's music when you're roaming. There's music in your base, and there's more music in combat. And we're actually going to do another update pretty soon because the one we're shipping tomorrow, it's in there, and we want it to happen maybe just a little bit more often. But we're going to tune it. But we started with this one. We're like, have you ever played those games where there's music and it's just you hear it all the time and you get sick of it?
Yeah.
So we started like, we're going to tune this way down, and so we're going to kind of play with it as we get feedback.
Yeah, definitely. And I do like the ambiance you guys do, like the wind and all the quiet when you walk through. It's very realistic, but I love that you like have the music pop in at like moments when you come in or a fight or something. It just makes you feel more like an epic Dwarven hero. Like, it's really well done. Awesome.
So functionally as well, it's been on my mind ever since the first time I even played the first mode. What were some of your guys' inspirations, like as a team? What other survival games did you pull inspiration from?
That's a great question. With the size of the team that we had at our peak, we had a lot of people on it, and it was a wide range. Everyone kind of came with their own sort of North Stars, but I would say the three we often sort of cited the most was Subnautica for the verticality of it, Valheim for how it felt like it made survival accessible, and then the Forest. Was one when we think about the orcs and encountering them and them being kind of scary and looking at you, we felt like those were the three that really in terms of gameplay that felt the closest to what we wanted to experience.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
you guys
awesome.
implemented that well, and I would like to even a little more praise the fact that you guys implemented it in a way that this game does feel very unique.
It does.
You can see those inspirations you're talking about, but you did such a good job of making this game very unique. Because I've played a lot of those survival games, and this one is very good.
Oh, here I can show you. Thank you. I can show you one other thing, which is that we put a lot of weirdly work into. Is you can break one part of a building and not have the entire building explode.
Yeah, I definitely did that a couple times.
We would have sometimes you'd put a platform on something like you were adding to it and suddenly the whole thing exploded. And then the other thing we did for those of you that really love like cleaning things up is we made it way faster to use your hammer to clean things. And it takes a lot less stamina. So you can go through and really clean a building without it feeling quite as tedious. So, and in Sandbox, we don't give you that ball-in camp right at the beginning. And so you really do, like, at some point you hit nighttime and you're like, oh, I need to sleep. And so you pick one of these buildings and build into it instead of building your own new base. So
unless you play with Matt, then we never
Speaking of which, we pull all-nighters around here. Real quick, a couple shout-outs. Epic Kingdom, thanks for the super. Andrew Carlisle, member for 27 months. Epic.
Nice.
And we got a super chat from Robert. Thank you so much, Robert. $5 super chat. Question for the devs. will we be able to cross-play with others on different platforms, i.e. PC to PS5?
Yeah, we're still investigating that. We're doing some technical tests and trying to figure out if it's going to be a good experience. So we're looking into it, but we can't commit to it yet. We want to.
There you go.
Oh man.
We get some of that music here. Very nice.
Yeah, you guys
All right.
need to come into this room.
Yeah, where are we making a camp at here, fellas?
Oh yeah.
Come on up here. This is beautiful.
Oh, I started following Justin, and I should have known that. That was a mistake.
I'm just gonna
number-
follow the developer. You know?
number one.
I feel like that's probably
know.
a good call.
Oh, I was going to let you guys play. I'm kind of along for the ride. I've got my own way that I like to play, and
Totally.
it's funny. Everyone on the team, depending on who's hosting, it ends up being a different play test because we play the game together every week, more often if we can, and
That's awesome.
it's very different if I'm hosting because I'm very like slow and methodical and like, you know, we're gonna fix all the statues and we're gonna get all the armor before we move to the next biome, and then we've got some other people on the team that are like, I found some stairs, we're going to the bottom, and they go all the way down to the bottom.
Oh, man.
So.
Oh, this is cool looking.
I
Yeah,
know.
this looks unique
There's a
here.
rope ladder.
Oh, the next one over where Durin is actually pretty cool. That's one of our
Okay.
new environments. That's the beginning of the game and campaign is a lot of what we call Dwarven halls, and this was our attempt at what would the Elven hall look like.
My God.
Mm.
Very cool. So do
Just
not
looking up.
the map. I can see the color changes.
Mm-hmm.
On the map. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and we added in once we added the colors in, we wanted you to be able to see the different biomes a little bit more clear than we had in campaign, and we also added the ability to ship. We've got 2 different colorblind modes on the map too,
Oh, nice.
and that's probably because I'm very colorblind, and one of our UI designers is very colorblind, and so we were both like, we can't see this at all. So we made it so we could see it, and then the team was like, my eyes are burning with these colors. So we're like, okay, we better do a colorblind mode.
Dialed it back a little bit. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I
kinda
just
cool,
dug
though.
straight down.
Do you have an up and down more now on the map to make it a little easier with like the mines area?
Well, one of the things we did in Sandbox was actually try to minimize the amount of times that environments overlap each other vertically, because it's really like, for those of you in the community that just couldn't ever find the dragon in Baranzanbar, and we worked on fixing that update both in campaign and here. Oh, somebody found the dig down secret.
That's pretty cool.
Is that this right here?
Yeah,
So what's down there?
let's go see.
It's a secret, man.
I guess we should find out. Oh, he did say that, didn't he?
Yeah.
All right.
We also learned firsthand, it is not so easy to just make it that you can dig below your feet without having all kinds of animation issues that we
Interesting.
managed to knock out.
Oh. Whoa.
What? I brought
We're
the
literally digging below the floor.
Oh, this is cool.
This is awesome.
Oh my god.
See, this is where I'd make a base, but I'm a little cave troll, so.
Eh.
There are definitely environments in Sandbox where you can build a base that is impenetrable.
Totally.
That the siege
I like
system
it.
will not find its way to you.
Oh, this is cool.
Wow.
Dude, these mushrooms look awesome.
This environment was one of those things where our art director, Bradley Fulton, he sort of like worked late one night, and he's like, "I've got something to show you." And I'm like, "What did you do?" And so,
He's like, I may be undermining. I mean, totally helpful.
but that's one of the I think that's one of the really fun things about working on a game with a small, experienced team that loves the game is. It's not about like a list of work. It's just people going like, "Oh man, wouldn't it be cool if?" And then a couple days later, we've tried it and it works. So it's been super fun.
This is like the experience of being in the lower deeps without actually being
Yeah.
in the lower deep.
Yeah, there's no Balrog yet.
So, question for you: when does this job as a developer, especially for a game like this, Tolkien's works and all of that, when has it felt like a job, and when has it felt just like somehow I'm getting paid for this. You know. When has it-
That's a. I mean, it's. When has it felt like a job? You know, I think that there are times, especially like probably the end of last year when the game was pretty baked. We felt like it was fun.
Yeah.
And then it was just about wrangling the tech to make sure it was bug free and managing the date. And, we really wanted to hit the date that we had told the community. And, one of the things that's just in software you can't control is how many bugs and how long does it take to fix. And, one of the weird things you run into in game dev is you might be like a week away from shipping and you find a bug and it actually ends up being faster to rip the entire feature out than to fix the bug. And then you just like cry a single tear and pull it out. So
Someone upset the orcs, guys.
I think we made a lot of
We
noise.
have a horde.
I don't even know where the ladder is.
Oh, the Horde is here.
Oh, that's right. You can get hordes in the Elven quarters now.
Did you guys update the water?
So are we going up?
Coming, Durin.
Upstairs?
I'm coming. I want to
Okay.
fight.
Good.
And so that's actually a good thing to talk about with hordes is we mentioned this in the patch notes, so you'll see this tomorrow, is hordes were really meant to be something that challenged you but made you sort of feel like you needed to stay prepared. But the original tuning of them was too hard, especially if you're playing by yourself. And so in this version, we made it that they happen more often, but they take less time, because I think at launch it was way too easy to end up in a horde that could be minutes, 5-6 minutes long, and you're like, okay, I get it. There's orcs, and so we wanted to make it maybe a little more frequent, but quicker to defeat. And so siege is sort of the same thing. So in the new version, you'll get hordes more often, but they won't last as long. And then another nice thing is with difficulty settings, if you get into a horde and it's a little too hard, you can actually change the difficulty in real time, and all the enemies will, like, even in a boss or a horde, you're like, change it to story mode, knock them all out, put it back to normal or hard if you want.
Nice.
Okay. Or if you're like, yeah, this is too easy, make it super hard.
Yeah.
See if Matt dies ever again.
I will never die.
Never.
Except from
I
fall
always have
damage.
it a hard mode.
Fall damage, maybe. What's up, buddy?
So I do have a question. Is there plans to add more, I guess, cosmetic decor that you can build and add to your bases or homes? Like, I remember going up in one of our playthroughs and just seeing all sorts of scrolls and bookshelves. I'm like, man, I want that.
Oh, you're going right down my talking points. I love it. Yeah,
That wasn't planned, I promise.
we added. It might be a little hard to show. Let me grab the actual numbers here.
I need more wood.
We added in this release 8 book and scroll shelves, 6 monuments to Durin you can build in your base now, the tavern counter and cabinet, 12 rugs and carpet segments in different colors, 16 banners and flags, 8 different kinds of crystal lamps. That brazier that you see everywhere, you can build that now. A little step ladder that works. We added 14 different kinds of stair segments, and that was a big thing. We spent a lot of time trying to make it so it was way easier to make second floors. And then we went back and redid a lot of the player building items so that you could make things that look just like what you see. So like we touched like all 27 wall segments and made them better, columns, wooden posts, fences. So and then we added furniture, so decorative. It's like 12 different tables and chairs. They're all decorative, so you can't sit in them, but you can really, like, you can make your own little, Michelin star dwarf restaurant now if you wanted to.
Who needs to sit in a chair when he can stand on your dwarf brother's shoulder?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
We found an orc town.
That's,
so
cool though that you can like customize your house now and stuff for your fortress.
Yeah, and we're going to be, I think tomorrow we'll put out a couple of videos that show people just going nuts with the new decoration. And we can't wait to see some of the
nice.
new builds too.
That is so exciting.
Yeah, I want to go left.
Yeah, we basically we went through all of those buildings that already existed, and we went through and said, okay, every one of these we want to be able to build it in your own base.
I just want to point out that we're pulling an all-nighter again. We haven't built a camp or anything yet.
Throwbacks,
We
the
all
classics.
ran all over it, too.
That's right.
Something I noticed immediately when I got on is how you guys updated all the images for the building plan.
Yes.
I love it. It's amazing.
Cool, thanks. I'll pass that on to the team. I mean, that was one of those where I think it was kind of an accident. It was weird. It was like an accident where we were like, we want to make this better, and then our environment artist made one icon, and we were like, that's great. Let's do those. And then I think he did the math on how long it was going to take. I think when it hit the look on his face, when we were like, yeah, let's do this for everything now.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, oh, what have I done?
I mean, I would say, yeah, it's one of those quality of life things where it's just,
Mhm.
you didn't realize you missed it, but now it's like, feels really good that you have it.
Yeah, let me see. I mean, once we find a base, if we actually want to build a base, once you build the later hearths, which we should have plenty to be able to do, that'll
Yeah.
start unlocking the decorations.
Let's do it.
So, quick shout out to Ambient Worlds in the chat. Ambient Worlds, friend of the channel. Also, Katie Roak says, with a $5 super chat, thank you so much, Katie. Says, no question, just really enjoyed John Paul's Tolkien Reading Day vid with his collection and his reading. Much respect for joining in on the much-loved holiday.
Oh, thank you. That was fun to do. It took me a couple of takes. Oh, I stumbled onto Bulgak.
Hello, Mr.
Bulgak? Oh, Bulgak.
I'm at the Elven Forge.
We're gonna destroy this guy so
Don't worry,
freaking
guys, it's all in our
fast.
I feel like we are. We're gonna cheese this.
Love
Especially, aren't we on
Yeah,
story
we're on
mode
story.
too?
Yeah.
Oh, and we've got all this elder stuff.
Come on, buddy, get down
Yeah,
here.
come on down.
He's like, I know you're cheating. Oh, he
Oh
jumped out.
yeah, charge it up. Ah!
Oh wow.
Woo, yeah.
Get him,
Slaughter.
Oh,
Those weapons you gave us, John Paul.
No blocks.
oh god,
No blocking.
that was. Well, you notice. I'll deflect from how easy that was. You notice how when he died, he dropped a piece of Durin's axe. So in Sandbox mode, each of the orc leaders has the fragments of the axe. So
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
so you're going to want to hunt them all down.
God,
And we did that in a couple of places where, because we pulled the linear story out, we wanted to make sure that the game still had. There we go. Did everyone get that achievement?
Yeah. Line of Azog ended.
That was another bug fix. Is it in launch? Only the person that actually did the death stroke got the achievement. So now everyone can actually get that achievement.
oh cool.
So how would I, let's see here. Let's up the difficulty a level since we can do that. Let's show off that feature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really nice. I love that. You
Go
use,
into
like,
the settings.
Yep.
Is it in settings?
Yeah. If you go over to the settings page. So yeah, right there you can see difficulty. Oh, sorry. Go back one. It's on the escape menu.
Ah, difficulty.
Yeah.
Alright.
Go. Yeah. There. Go. Yeah. Sorry, I'm
Go
behind.
solo or normal? We'll do normal. Let's do normal. We'll go up 2 ranks.
Oh, of course you are.
Nice.
Let's do it.
Right as I'm
John,
about to
let's see.
have an orc horde over here.
I put it
By
on
the way,
legendary.
I'm putting in some salted pork into this wood chest here, so y'all.
Oh, that's
Josh
perfect.
Josh
'cause I'm
Marauder is asking
to starve.
ETA for the update. I think someone was earlier as well, like
Mm.
Eastern Standard, if we've got a time.
It will be, I think, 6 a.m. Pacific, so 9
Nice.
Eastern.
Nice.
That's what we're. Honestly, it depends on our alarms and if we wake up and press. We just have to wake up and press the button. So it's not quite as scientific. It's just me and the lead engineer waking up and going, "Are you awake? Yeah, I'm awake. Are you okay? Let's do it."
Nice.
So we're just gonna wake up in the morning and do it.
There you
I'll
go.
push the button for you if you want.
If we keep you up too late, then you have an excuse. If you're late.
Yeah.
Well, if there's one thing I've learned from 20 years of working in game and software dev is when you say, "Oh, we're definitely going to do it right at 6," that's when you find out, "Oh, we forgot to upload this one entitlement thing," and so if it's 6:01 and it's not there, just know that me and the lead engineer are probably fixing it. Oh, so here's one of our stairs. So in Sandbox Mode, if you look at the map, you've got all these different levels and deeps, and we, in campaign, you really kind of moved from chapter to chapter in very specific points where the story advanced. But this one, we want you to just be able to go kind of anywhere, and so in multiple places in the game are stairs and descents, and you can go like 6 levels up and down. On each one of them, and you can really end up in some way ahead of yourself places in the
awesome. Wow.
That is very cool.
So if we go up high enough, do we go outside the mountain and end up on?
My art director is like, no, don't talk about outside the mountain. I've been like, one day I want to breach to the outside, but we're not quite there yet.
Oh man.
Tower.
How high does this one go up? Oh, we found one of the good ones because it's
Yoyston, man, he's going all the way. Yeah.
This is much easier than rope ladders, all the stairs. Yeah.
I think
we
I
can.
Yeah, I think the art team, Ty and Bradley, did a really great job making this environment look. I feel like this is actually one of our dwarfiest environments.
So where did you end up pulling a lot of your inspiration for the actual architectural designs?
You can just look up and, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's
there's a lot of Art Deco I can see, but which kind of comes with that motif that dwarves are Art Deco, elves are Art Nouveau.
Yeah, and it was a lot of the original, like the concept art and the illustrations throughout the history of the books, and dwarves really always had a certain vibe. And so we wanted to stick with that. But one thing we did is there's a couple of it's a little bit subtle, but we actually took some inspiration, kind of a newish inspiration, on some of the really old stuff, like in the Balrog's Nest, or I got shadowed. I wasn't even paying attention. Like in the Balrog's Nest or in the Tomb of Kings, we took inspiration from some like Thai architecture, like ancient temples, because they had a very similar tradition of carving into stone, and so we wanted to look for a couple of other influences, but for the most part, we wanted to stay. We felt like it's about dwarves. Let's stay within expectations.
Oh, that guy flew like 15 feet. That was awesome.
So I noticed when I first played the Sandbox.
This is my new favorite.
Testing it, I noticed that the lighting is a little bit backward of how when you first released the game. I think I talked about it in the chat. I really like it because you guys, I would love the lighting in the game right when it came out, and then you guys, it lightened it up for a lot of people because it was just too dark, which I totally get.
Yeah.
For me personally, I don't know this for everyone, but it would bleach a little bit, right? The lighting when it was really bright, and the lights and like the fire lights at your house were like so bright, it was just like glowing, right?
Yeah, that was actually one of the reasons why. So we did go through and adjust the lighting in every environment. So our art director's kind of been going by hand, one by one. And then, but the one thing that got me about launch was how often, the torches have a certain kind of color. And so because of that, it feels very, it always felt very warm in your base. And so that was why we wanted to add those crystal lanterns and lamps so that you could start to have like cooler colors and different color temperatures in the base and not feel like you were just sort of in the middle of a campfire all the time.
And I just noticed there were green and yellow. Like I never remember seeing that green hue of that one light.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a new light or not, but that looks fantastic.
Yeah, and I feel like we got the contrast on the light shafts a lot better.
I my definite compliment was this new sand mode. The lighting is. I saw a drastic difference the moment I turned it on. So,
And this should also be in campaign. The lighting changes as well.
Yeah, when the update comes out.
Mhm.
That looks great.
We're in the second level now, so we went.
What's your personal favorite?
We're only in the
change?
second level? Oh my gosh, I felt like we went so high.
Same.
Yeah.
What's your personal favorite change or upgrade that you guys made?
Ooh, man, that's hard. Well, I mean, for me individually, because I tend to play by myself a lot while I'm testing, is the single player pause.
Oh, fair.
So when you're,
I love that.
because now I can actually stop and take some notes.
Yeah.
And so I figured if I needed it, everybody needed it. And it was interesting because that was one of those things where we had a week where the team was off for an American holiday, and then we have a couple of people on the team that are in Czechia, and so we were trying to just like brainstorm what are a couple of things that they could do, and we asked one of our awesome devs out there, Tom, to like, hey, what would it be like to put pause in? Because we always figured multiplayer game pause is really hard, and he just kind of knocked it out. So we're like, well, we gotta put this out to everybody. So that's probably just from like a quality of life standpoint. But then, I mean, we're running around and grabbing and building stuff, gathering, but building. If we get a chance to stop and just try to build something, we did so many changes to make it easier and more fun to just retrofit and remodel an existing building. Stability, we essentially nerfed the effect of verticality on stability, so you can really build high. There were so many times when it would be so frustrating, you'd put something, it would go red and blow up.
Yeah.
So I think probably gameplay wise, it's the amount of work we put in on making building just way more seamless.
We never stop on this team. It's ride or die.
Until you die.
Yeah, we'll
Very
find
exciting with the update.
we'll
Bring your
find
Limbus,
some-
boys.
some sort of flat ground, and we'll start building.
Yeah.
Check out some of those.
Guys,
You
we
guys
lost
are
Well, there is you'll also notice on the map there's an icon on here on the second level, and that's for the first time we're labeling the ranger camps, because we found so many people could not find them, and so we went a little Ubisoft and was like, let's just put it on the map, let you go find it.
Nice.
Oh, dude, this music's awesome. You guys hear the battle music?
Yeah.
So yeah, talk about the
Mhm.
you know, the music. It's not pervasive throughout, but it does kind of kick in when you have battles, it seems like.
Yeah, there's multiple tracks. It's there's basically roaming music, which will getting hit here. There's roaming music that will kick in if you're just out and playing the game, and then when combat happens, basically when an enemy starts attacking you, the whatever roaming music you're listening to kicks into a higher tension version of that music, and so that's why the combat music can sound different each time, because it just depends on where in the jukebox the next track is.
Cool. That kind of makes it not quite as
All right. So are we making a base here from looks of it?
Yeah, I just decided
I
to
like-
start building.
Yeah. You
go
just
for it.
goes for it.
All right, I'm gonna put some
So Chazowski, or Chasowski, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Are we getting stat tool tips to see item stats?
Oh, that's a good one. No, not in this update. We still went with, we were very, it was probably an interesting choice that we made, whether that was the right one or not, was to have most of our buffs and items feel, more relative to each other. This is a higher tier. This gives you a lot of something, and then let that stat panel really affect the stats, because there's a spectrum between sort of giving you every number and then just sort of telling you, hey, this is better. So we biased a little bit more towards the relative, a little bit more. Again, we were talking before the stream of like, what are the upsides and downsides of being very lore forward, and in a few places we maybe went a little less gamey than we could have. So that's one example.
Oh yeah, I see all the different things you guys added. I'm horrible in survival games with building with like diagonal blocks, but you guys have some like diagonal roof bits and corner roof. That's awesome.
Oh, the furnace has like red. That's so cool. Or like lava. The metal's
Yeah, that's another thing. We took a lot of the stations and added more VFX sound. Just try to make everything feel a lot more alive. I'm just putting down some of the decorations here. What do I need to unlock the next round of stuff? Oh, we got some other stuff we need before we can do that.
Oh, the lattice is awesome.
Should we,
I should have just brought in some bronze and resin with me.
I've got resin.
One thing I did notice, I don't know if it was from how old this is, but the snapping for like walls and things like that, it's so clean.
It really is.
Yeah, that was a lot of work, and we knew we had improvements we wanted to make when we launched, and so that was one of the big priorities in this one, is to get the snapping feeling better, getting the stability feeling better, and then the other thing is just making the pieces fit a little better. I mean, I feel like we kind of had two different Lego sets that were both looking good, but they didn't quite play nicely with each other. So we did a lot of work to make the stuff that the environment artists used to make the world really match up with the stuff that the player can build.
I love the new type of ladder, the step ladder and the rope ladder. I mean, that's a match made in heaven. That's perfect.
Yoisten is here for the ladders.
That's right.
That's why
You know what's funny about the step ladders? We built it to be decorative, and then we were like, "Oh wait, it really works."
Yeah,
So,
pretty functional right there.
yeah. Any game dev on any team that tells you they know exactly what everything is going to do when they come up with the idea, that's just not how dev works. So, oh my God, you're so high up already. We got a builder here.
Yeah, me and Yoisten are going at it.
Yeah, you'll hit the edge where you'll start needing the columns soon.
Oh yeah, we can test those out.
Yeah, I think the next one will break, but can I do one more? Let me see. Oh, dude, the music is awesome right now. So who did the music, like composing wise?
Yeah, well, we have an audio team. So the system was designed by Max, who is our basically audio director for the bulk of the game. He designed the system, and then we needed him on some other stuff, and so we brought in an external composer that worked with him to hit the vibe of the original music. So we wanted to really feel like it matched the opening cinematic music and the songs and things like that.
Well, as someone who plays an orchestra all the time, I approve. It is amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And same with the voice acting. Honestly, all the sound design is really well done.
So good.
So I've got to ask, who wrote the shanties, like the mining shanties?
Yeah, so that was Max Lesher, who's our audio director, along with his writing partner Teddy, and I'm embarrassing myself because I don't remember their last name. I'll have to look that up for everybody. They went to school together, and when we were like, "Hey, Max," it was actually all the shanties was Max's idea. So he was, what a great story. Music major, worked in QA, started doing some audio for us, and then had this idea of, hey, I think I could make it where we can do 8-part harmonies in real time. And we were like, okay, let's try it. And then we're like, oh, this is like a core thing we need to do. And so we sat down and brainstormed what the songs could be about. Like we poured through the books, anything that a song could be. And they just started, the two of them just went off and started brainstorming and writing. We actually had 4 kinds of songs at one point. But yeah, so we ended up with the tavern songs, the The tavern songs, the
Mining.
mining songs, and then what we always call them the veneration songs, or they're like
Oh yeah.
the respectful songs.
Yeah.
And those we ended up going a little bit shorter because we found like spending 2 minutes singing at a statue wasn't
Yeah.
quite as fun. So we pulled those down a little bit. And we prototyped some others, but those were the ones that felt the most fun.
I will say I love the Durin statue in the story mode when you first come in, that singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty
With the group and the orchestra. Oh my god.
Very
I got
powerful.
Chills there first time I was like, this is the right game. They did it perfect.
Yeah, we were real happy about that one. And then we had a Dwarven translation of Bilbo's Road Song.
Oh.
And that was one of those. I'm giving you all of the like cutting room floor dirt, but that was one where we're like, oh, we wanted to get to it, but there's only so much time. I'm really feeling like I'm not being useful right now. I'm just watching you guys build.
Well, I've just been mining copper this entire time. I don't even know if we need it.
Did somebody say they had resin? Could we build a tiled hearth? Does anyone have some ubasum wood? I need to go back to the deeps for that.
I have
'Cause I
seven
think that will-
ubasum. I don't know how much it takes, but I have 7 of them.
We need 15 and then 24 resin. Because if we build the tiled hearth, that'll unlock more of the furnishings.
I gotta catch up to you guys. I was at the 3rd level.
See, and that's how you can tell like the building's super clean as well, is because we just put this up in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty
awesome.
Click.
Yeah, we did. So I mentioned our creative director, Michael Downing. He threw, and with Claire, shout out to our awesome community manager in Discord. They reached out to a couple of players that had done some big builds that we were
There's
really
a
excited
freaking
about.
bat.
Get that
Sorry.
guy. The
Get
bat.
that bat. Get him out of here.
And we basically we did a little MTV Cribs where they brought us in, they showed us the build, they showed us things that were frustrating to them, things that made it hard to get what they had in their head onto the screen, and that really became our punch list of things for improving building. And so we're hoping to see what they can do now that we fixed a lot of that.
There you guys are. Hello.
Whoa.
Should we sleep?
Cool. Yeah.
That'd probably be a good idea.
I'm an outsider here, man.
Did we lose Justin?
I think we did.
Wouldn't be the first time.
I
Yeah.
need to send a search party out.
I call the bed under the rope ladder.
His character died of starvation a while
sounds
back.
about
I
right.
saw it. So
So, he's still in the chat. He's still in our group chat. Justin,
I need to put
Justin,
down
are you alive?
mid-roll.
In like real life alive?
He's out.
Man, yeah, he fell to the Dark Delvings or something.
I see why you guys don't sleep on stream. It's not quite as entertaining to watch us all waiting for somebody.
Right? Who are we waiting for? Oh, it is. Oh, he's coming. He's coming. Okay.
No,
Do we have
let's
enough
see.
beds for everybody?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to clean my bed. I forgot I claimed it. Hadn't claimed it yet.
Do we have enough
I do
beds?
like the waiting for everybody
We only have 6
animations of like the peer pressure. Like
Right?
Yeah. Disease.
I love that. Like, we're so tight knit that we can't sleep without the other ones sleeping. It seems like a terrible tactic in Kaza Doom
I'm
for
on my
all
way,
of
Justin.
us to sleep at the same time and nobody to be on watch.
Yeah, no
Just-
keeping watch of this one.
Yeah.
I do love disease though, because it like tells people that you want to sleep, because that's one thing in Valheim that drives me crazy. So
Mhm.
Oh
it's
yeah.
a really good addition. Because you don't know if people have actually clicked the bed or not. You're like, did you click it?
Yeah.
right? Like, did you click it?
You coming?
Well, maybe we
I
bail
think
and
he's-
sleep later.
I think he's back on the first floor. So
I don't think we don't have enough beds in here yet, do we?
We need one more, I think. Does anyone
Yeah,
have
we do
cloth?
need one more.
Let's see here.
Hold on.
We need 6
I got you.
scraps.
You can sleep over by me. There you go.
Oh, nice.
There we go. So we have 7. Now we just need Thor here.
I also put a mapstone at the very, very top of the stairs, so we can fast travel there later if you want to.
He's not moving. Oh, there he's moving.
He was. He was.
It was shifting a little.
Like,
He's trying to go
wiggle your
down.
arrow on the map.
There he's wiggling.
Oh, okay. So it shows my ignorance of what's in or not in the notes. But I remember one of the things that we struggled with most when we played through was, sorry to call you out there, Thror, but Thror died a lot, and his death markers were on our maps forever. And I don't know if you ever
I think
figured
we
that
fixed
out,
that.
or-
I think we
Okay.
fixed that. Yeah, we had a lot of in the bug fixes. There's a lot of like somebody joins late and every waypoint ever made is all on their screen all at once.
Oh goodness.
We fixed that one, and I'm pretty sure we fixed the I see everyone's death chests all the time.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we fixed that one. I mean, it was like 300 bugs that I don't want to say remember because we've got them all in Jira, but it's like a fuzzy line between was it a bug or just something that bugged us, and we wanted to.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because we thought it was on our end for the longest time. We didn't think we were doing
We thought
something.
we were being dumb.
Yeah.
We were like,
Well, I mean, you can see some of that. We mentioned the Subnautica. I mean, some of the influences. If you're like me and you use the map a lot, go in and turning all the waypoints off so it's a clean screen, and then picking the one thing you're really going after, and then turning that one on, and then you can see that in the world. Just kind of helps you kind of guide to where you're going.
Oh, I need to repair a lot of my stuff. Do we have a smithy to repair? Oh, we do.
we all love
There
the
we go.
maps there. Tolkien fans love the maps. It's very good.
Yeah, you guys also see the changes we made to the visuals of the map. If you guys remember, it was this very sort of block by block, cell by cell.
Oh, hey.
Yeah,
Oh.
I remember that.
Siege.
Yep.
About time.
Should we close the door? Oh,
Yeah.
no. Zolin's out there.
Yes, close the
That's right,
door.
You got this, Zolin. Kunk shuts the door on me.
Yeah, I mean,
Where are they?
maybe it's just the life of being a developer,
Where
but
are
you
they?
guys made a lot of quality of life updates. I feel like I didn't even
Yeah.
notice some of these, but I hope they don't get swept under the rug. I
Mhm.
mean to say, because I know that one probably took a lot of work for fixing even like the maps and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, is this one of those sieges that they can't get to us?
They might be behind this door.
That's a well-constructed fortress.
Yeah, I can't even find us.
Yeah, right.
Here we go, Zolan.
I found
Well, this is probably. Did they come?
I found him.
Okay, it's probably a good time to mention that Sandbox is going to be launching on the Epic Game Store, so just on the PC version first, and we're calling it an alpha preview because we didn't want to wait. We wanted to get it out, get feedback, and iterate on it. And so, you mentioned the quality of life things. One of the things that the reason why we're able to get a lot of those is the community is just so engaged in giving us support tickets, customer support tickets, feedback. We read everything in Discord. And so a lot of the quality of life was just us going down the line of things that people wanted.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Well, and you guys listen.
Well, that was an easy siege.
Ended.
Oh, here, he
Twisted died.
I've
Oh,
never
no.
died in this game, so I don't know. what
John
happened.
Paul, you died in your own game.
Well, no one ever said because I made it, I'm good at it.
We're being shadow cursed.
Hey, look, Dorn's lamp.
I found Justin, guys. I'm bringing him back.
Yay.
Hey, would you chop down some of those trees so we can get some more balsam wood while you're there?
Oh, look, there's a bunch of orcs over there.
I'm gonna put a new door in right here.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I noticed with how good you guys responded to the community was just like how fast things were fixed that were like real bugs right early, and like the game run just ran
Yeah.
so smoothly when it came, right? It was just
Yeah, we did. Yeah, October, November, and December was kind of insane because we had been working on the game, and we just came out and we were like, there's just things that we were real proud of the game, but you could just watch. You never really know until you're out live. Oh, I just died. I guess I should have eaten.
I love this axe. It like throws the orcs 15 feet in the air. It's amazing. It's the Thunderstrike First Age Battle Axe.
Pretty cool.
You can see I love the little sparkles on the axe that Cam, our VFX artist, put in. Very cool stuff. Oh, thank you.
Oh,
There we go.
Stone on it.
Yeah, this is, it will be
That is one of the lines, isn't it? Rub some
Yeah.
stone.
I wrote that one. I was pretty happy
Did you?
about it.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
I think my daughter is sick of me saying just rub some dirt on it. Walk it off. What's over here? Oh, you know what? I'm going to die again if I don't eat. I need to take that lesson. I'm just talking about the game. La la la. I should probably play it.
TT asks, have the Durin lamps been fixed? Permanently staying on once you sing to them?
They're not permanently staying on. That is still high on our lists. We're hoping to get to that in the next update. We did add more Durin lamps in both the campaign and Sandbox. We felt like it was you get to them too late in the game to really affect it, and so we felt like shadow was so important to the concept of the game and the world building that it became like you just built over it and that was it, and that didn't feel right. So we wanted to make sure you could repair more of those Durin lamps, build some of your own a little earlier, and feel like you can actually get rid of it. But yeah, we still have to fix that one issue where they don't stay permanently.
Notorious Chill, member for 35 months. Wow. It's almost 3 years. Thank you.
Who are we waiting on?
Is that longer than your channel's existed,
Longer
Zalin?
than my channel's existence, yeah.
How about that?
That's what I was gonna say.
Hey, Zalin is your one member part of that tonight.
He's here. It's Robert. No. You already super chat.
Let's see here.
Ah,
The
sleep.
warden says, I love the dramatic death animation when the dwarves starve. Wancho says, where are the nameless things in Sandbox? So can the nameless things just show up anywhere?
And they're still in the darkest deeps.
Okay.
And the darkest deeps, though, are not they're not necessarily always at the very bottom of the mountain. They can actually show up in some other places. And in fact, there's a couple of places where you can accidentally dig your way into one and not realize it. So breaching into a nameless thing is possible if you're far enough down.
Dang.
Delightful.
That's awesome.
Kaylee, thanks so much for the super chat. This game has brought me and my best friend across country to get together more often. Very grateful for this. Thank you for all you guys do. That is a sweet message. That's
I
awesome.
love that. Thank you. We've one of the things that, going back to those values is playing the game together a lot, and I think a lot of the multiplayerness of it just came from us. We started the game during the pandemic, all at home, and so it was us play testing, and someone would have one of those like, hey, what if we did this, and we kind of added in, and so we always knew the game was going to be multiplayer. We wanted it to feel co-op and PvE, but I think just the circumstances of learning to be a remote team, I think, led us to really just keep adding more stuff for different players. So that's one of the reasons why I know I get a lot of questions about why isn't there a really deep RPG system, and maybe there could have been, but I always felt like I liked the idea that my friend could just jump into the game with me, and I've made them armor and a weapon, and they can just play, and they don't have to go
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have to just go play for level up for 20 hours before I want to play with them, or I have to go back and slum it as a level 1 again. And so we did that in particular to make it just fun to play with friends and pick up and play with friends.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, because these guys hooked me up with stuff. They like Higgy or Zalin will come in, and there were so many streams where they would come in. It was like I was a lord in like some feudal society, and they would be like, "Here, my lord, I gift you this helmet." And
my sack full of biltong.
yes, I bring you a bushel of biltong. May it sustain you through multiple nights.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
There were definitely a couple of content decisions in the game that I was waiting for someone to talk me out of. I still think I should go and update my resume, and the top line should just say, "Actually made a game with something called a snack rat in it."
A snack rat.
Well, we were like early on in the game, it was like, well, we need meat. And that was the thing you could meet. And we're like, well, no one wants to kill and eat the rats. So I think almost in a kind of snarky way, I was like, well, we'll just call them snack rats and people will snack on them. And we never came up with a better name. So snack rats.
Jow Abel says, does it have a story if I play single player? Absolutely it does. Yes. It's the same story, whether you're multiplayer or single player. So you can dive right in, whichever way you like to play. In case you missed it earlier, one of the new features is that during single player you can pause the game, which is nice, which is very convenient. Notorious Chill, yes, says, I've been here since the beginning of your channel, my guy. Major longtime supporter. Much love, Matt. Thank you. Back at ya. Yes, I was just commenting on the duration of the membership notification there, but yes, no, I remember your username from the early days, back when we would do a live stream and have like 8 to 12 people show up.
Well, and I think your channel, Matt, is as old as it sounds like this game process was, right? About 2020 or 2019?
Well, you know, it's funny you mentioned that because your About the Dwarves video was required reading for new members of the team. Which
really?
I don't think I ever told you that.
Funny. No, you didn't.
Is
oh,
awesome.
That's funny.
That went straight to his head. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, guys.
Yep.
I'll make the team watch you guys' stuff too.
Oh, we got another horde.
I don't do as cool lore videos as Matt. I'm over here. I do voiceovers too.
So when did you first start? What was like the first?
Yeah, we were.
What was do you remember the day, like roughly time of year and everything?
Yeah, well, I was. Me and a small team were helping the guys at Oddworld Inhabitants finish up Oddworld Soulstorm, which I mean, talk about how awesome it was to work with Lorne Lanning and learn from him. Even though it was just we were like the cavalry that helped at the very end. So we were working on that, and then our friends at North Beach who published the game, because I work at Free Range Games, they had been working on. It was always their dream to make something Lord of the Rings survival crafting, because they publish 7 Days to Die and Stranded Deep, which are also, if you guys are survival crafting fans, absolutely go play those games too. And so they felt like Lord of the Rings and survival crafting could really work. And when they had kind of worked through the deal and figured out when they could do it, and they came to us and asked if we'd be interested in being the dev team on it. And so that was late 2020 when the idea came up. And so then we had to sit and kind of brainstorm, design what the game would be. And so I think it really kind of came together. It was the CEO of Free Range and actually our combat engineer. They were kind of just chatting, and they were like, "Well, it's got to be dwarves." And at that point, we were like, "All right, dwarves." And so then we started working through what would be the right story
Yeah.
And we brainstormed a bunch of different things, and then ultimately, the art director Bradley and I were like, it just feels like Moria is the thing. And so then we worked up a pitch that we were thinking about, like Moria, maybe like Balin's company,
Oh yeah.
maybe founding of, and then just I think it was just like kind of a random conversation. We're like, well, what if we actually, he talks about going back. What if we did that story? And our friends at Middle Earth Entertainment loved the idea, and they've been super supportive the whole time. They were the ones that we were coming down the stretch on the game, and they asked if there's anything you could get that you haven't asked for, what would it be? Talk about a big question. And I was like, well, we've got these preliminary scripts for Gimli. Do you know, like, what would it take to get John Rhys Davies?
Yeah.
And they were like, let us make a few phone calls. And I was like, I left that meeting going like, no, like we didn't even ask because we thought it would be a ridiculous idea. And they made a few calls, and John was, there's a bear over here. John was really excited about it, and all of a sudden we went from like, making a game and writing some scripts to, we're writing words for John Rhys Davies now. So that was that just kind of goes to how supportive our friends at Middle Earth Entertainment were of this game from the very beginning.
And awesome. I have to confess, guys, I've seen a bit of the recording footage of John Rhys Davies recording lines for this, and it's pretty awesome. Like what? Yeah.
He's funny.
Oh, he's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, we our executive producer during production had a chance. He and his wife had a chance to move to Scotland during production from California, and he moved to Scotland. And when we were doing the recording, I mentioned that, and he asked where, and I mentioned where, and then he just went on this like 6-minute insult fest of that part of Scotland.
Oh my gosh.
That's so funny. But we did it all remote. He was at his studio in the Isle of Man. We were here in California, and so that was kind of the reality of working remote, is we got to be really worldwide with making the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the voice actors as well for our characters here and all of that. How did that go down?
Yeah, that was
they were slightly easier to get than John Rhys Davies.
Yeah,
Probably.
but it was a lot. It was a lot of casting. So that was one of those moments. I think as a director, it's important to be realistic with what you can get done in time, but sometimes it also, you need to be a little bit ambitious. And that was one where I sat down with Max, was writing all the songs, and I was like, what if we didn't just, like, what if we just put voices everywhere? And he's like, okay, that sounds like a lot of work. And I was like, and what if there were 8 of them? And he's like, that would be an insane amount of work. And then a little later I came back and I said, what if we re-recorded the entire game in Khuzdul? And it turned out to be a lot of work. But yeah, we managed to get 10 voices in, which I'm really happy about. And
Yeah.
so
they did a great job.
Justin, come back, get your salted pork so you don't starve and
As a
die.
joke, it's like, well, you ever need any other voices?
Well, it also helped me with, one of the other things we wanted to do was really let players tell their own Dwarven story and not be too prescriptive. And so we had a lot of debates, and I would say I'm a hardliner on this. We had a lot of debates about what accent a dwarf would actually have, and because I always kind of was like, would it really be Scottish? It's kind of a Semitic language. You'd probably sound more like, Egyptian or Israeli or Palestinian. Like, it would be something more in that region. And but of course everyone was like, you gotta have a Scott. It's gotta be Scottish. Come on. So I think for the first year of development, I was like, no, It is not going to be a Scottish voice. That's not the language. There's no way that's what Professor Tolkien had in his head. And then eventually we were like, well, let's live the value of letting players tell their own story. And so you'll notice in the recording of the 4 male voices and the 4 female voices, there's a mix of Scottish sounding, Irish kind of sounding, and then there's a couple that are inspired by Semitic speakers.
Wow.
And so there's a mix there. And so that way I got
Awesome.
my accent the way I wanted it,
Yeah.
kind of like colorblind mode, and then everyone else just picks the 2 Scottish voices.
That works with having this
Sorry.
plans.
Man, we just took out that bear really fast.
We're so OP right now. We should go down. We should find some stairs and just go downward.
I'm digging a hole, guys. If y'all want to come.
Whoa, hey.
Hey, when do we get diggy hole in Kudzul?
Oh man, I wonder what the licensing rights would be. If you're the Diggy Hole guys, email me.
Yeah.
I think if they played this game, they'll be like, "Oh, dude, yeah, we'll set you up."
Diggy Hole is one of
Yeah,
you work on a game long enough. Oh, I don't want to talk over this.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
Oh.
Oh, that was my fault. That was my fault. Oh, I knew about that bug and I shouldn't have done it. If you get far enough into singing and someone joins you, it's just like, nope, your fun is over now.
Everyone just looks dirty.
So quick, let's talk about something else. No,
All right, so
no, I'm just
here
kidding. It's fine.
we can
Game-
drill
game's good
down
bug.
here. It looks like. Should we go
Well,
downward?
Yeah,
Here?
Well, let's go find one of the stairs or the descents. There's
Oh,
a stair
okay.
nearby, right? We should head over there,
Probably.
and just like
I think
Peter
the
Pan our
little
way to the bottom.
different accents is really cool, and that you kind of included all of them because, like, your lore that all 7 clans are coming to help,
Mm-hmm.
like, reclaim it. It makes a lot of sense that you'd have slightly different accents from different
Yeah.
clans, different parts of the world.
And you can also feel it in the character creator where we, in a way, I don't know, I can want to say we punked out a little bit, but like there was a couple of times where we just had these like debates about like what would they sound like and what would a dwarf woman look like, and would there be beards or not, and so then we just decided let's just let the players pick. And so like with the character creator, you don't pick a gender, and you get to just tell this is a dwarf man, this is a dwarf woman, this is a non-binary dwarf, whatever you want it to be. You can pick your name, you can pick your shape, and then that's just your dwarf. So if you want to play where female dwarves all have beards and nothing else, that's your story. And so we just try to push the decisions to the players rather than making it for them.
Oh, hello.
I think for a creative game too.
There's
Oh yeah.
Orcs here. Here we go.
All right. I don't know if you guys can see this, but you should watch me swing this axe and throw a dwarf or throw an orc, because it's
Nobody
awesome.
throws it.
I missed. No, but watch this. Watch it. Wait, don't kill the last one. No.
Oh, that was me. That was me.
Wait.
Oh, he's
Okay,
still alive.
he's still alive. Okay, don't hit him. Don't hit him.
He's alive.
Let me hit him with my axe,
control.
because
Ritual
My-
combat. We'll make a circle.
my axe will throw him.
Oh,
Right? Isn't that awesome?
I like the water. Did you guys update that too? That looks
Yeah,
Yes,
I
we
feel like
did.
the water. Yeah.
the water and the shadow effects were two things that they weren't, honestly, they weren't very performant. They would kind of tank your performance, and they looked good, but they didn't look as good as we wanted them to be. So both of those got a little glow up.
I do.
Hello.
I always appreciate good-looking water in games.
Come here.
Oh, hey, there's our
About
base.
that.
Wow.
All right, I think the stairs are this way.
I put a teleport at the
So-
top of the stairs if you want to just take the map there.
Hollow Duma. Oh, can we?
Oh,
Loading one. There you go.
so where are we going?
There's a lot
Oh.
of stuff.
We're going. I think we should go down.
Okay.
So I know you guys did a lot with the lighting already, and I think you did a fantastic job. But do you guys ever think you might implement like a contrast versus brightness tab, like pull?
It's kind of fun to think about. No, well, we just did. We ended up with brightness, but the more the different variables you have, the more you just end up with this geometric complexity of testing it. And
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
but we knew from the beginning. I mean, one of the very earliest pitches we did of the game was about light and dark being a big deal, and it was just game dev, one of those things where you kind of go like, well, it'll be really dark, and then you bring out your light, and you got to choose when you bring your light out. And we kept, I think it was 3 years of back and forth of, it's too dark, okay, it's too bright, it's too dark, I need a torch, I don't need a torch, why is there a day-night cycle under the mountain, you know? So any one of those questions are ones we asked ourselves too, and so we just, I think we finally landed on, we need to make the game look good. Hey, there we go. Hey, Thor. So we're back to maybe we should have gone down.
Can we go up the stair? Can it go up higher? Or not?
Oh wait, yeah. Is there another set of stairs? Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's like
this?
three
Is it
there's like
this?
3 sets of stairs.
Oh, I see.
I think you guys did a really good job on the new sandbox lighting. I definitely, whatever you guys did recently, like your light art, you did a really good job, because I noticed like within 30 seconds of turning the game on. But when I opened it, I was like, oh, it doesn't look bleached. It looks really nice and clean, and everything looks wonderful.
Yeah, I think the color passes, you know, yeah, thank you. That's,
yeah.
I'll pass that on to the team.
Yeah, you did a really good job. I immediately noticed.
So, John Paul, I'm curious, like, because, you know, like, I feel like there's been games in the past, not to name any names or anything, that might get a single update or a bug fix, and then it just kind of gets dropped. So, like, it seems like this was always the plan for you guys to like continue to make tweaks and everything after the game came out.
Yeah, you know, we knew that this kind of game you just need to watch people play and learn, and so we had always kind of planned on having some runway after it came out to keep making it better. And you know, we still want to get it on Xbox and on Steam, and so get it to everywhere it can play. We want everyone to be able to play together, and then I think that's going to be the moment when we kind of look at it and decide what's next. So you know, the dream would be enough sales to just keep going, and that would be great. But you know, we all, if for anyone that follows the game industry, it is a challenging time, and I think it in some ways it's a testament to our publisher North Beach Games and my employer Free Range Games that we've been able to kind of be smart enough with our projects and our bets and our investments to be able to keep making the game better. And so I would love to just keep working on this game until something else comes up.
Hypothetical.
Yeah, because I'm not still bitter about, you know, my 2/3 of a Lego Hobbit game from like 10 years ago or anything.
So hypothetically, if we, like you're saying, if everything goes great and, you know, the game keeps growing and stuff like that, you guys think maybe you'd ever think about doing like a different mountain or like an expansion? Or
you know,
like
it's oh, I don't have the better pickaxe. Does anyone have a steel pickaxe? Oh, you've got Durin's axe, yeah.
I have Durin's axe.
Oh my god, yeah, you've got the big two-handed one. I mean, you know, we've got so many ideas. I think one day we could empty my notebook with things that we've wanted to do. You know, we are really focused right now on, we still think we've got at least one more update on the other platforms. But we've got, I mean, I could sit down and write out like a 5-year roadmap if we had the ability to do it.
Yeah,
but
okay.
You just never know. You just never know with the way that things work out. And you know, I'd love to do that. And the ProcGen system, I think, would be able to make another mountain.
That's awesome. That answered my question. I was just thinking, like, hypothetically, that would be cool for like an expansion. You know, go to Erebor, go to Gundabad, or something. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know, something like that. That's really cool, dude. You guys do a great job.
So aside
Gundabad,
from...
man, I would do Gundabad in a second, man.
Yeah,
especially because we you know, we placed a lot of little seeds for possible futures in there. Like, so if you're paying attention to the lore and the story, you know, where is King Thorin right now? Oh, someone set that guy on fire.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that looks so good right now.
That looks so good.
Oh, we got into a harder spot. We got some red eyes now. You know,
That little hint you guys put in there with the lore.
yeah, because like where is Thorin Stonehelm right now? And he's busy. You know, essentially there was, you know, two camps of dwarves of what to do now in the Fourth Age, and you've got the King under the mountain saying we should take back Gundabad, which is where, you know, where Durin the First awoke and is overrun by orcs, and then you've got Gimli who's like, guys, it's Moria, and so you can see that a bit in a little bit, and even like well, I don't want to spoil. There's a moment in the
Yeah, maybe.
there's a little moment in the ending cinematic where you even for just like a little split second you get a little bit of rivalry.
Yep.
All right, I will say,
I know what you're talking about.
when the orc was on fire, it did not take away my in darkness, so I think that's a little immersion breaking.
I should be able to have orc torches. That's a great point. Oh, I'm down. I wasn't paying attention to my health.
Yeah, I hear you.
Right? You're okay.
Matt, is that you just throwing everybody into the abyss?
Oh, yeah, I'm just wailing away on these orcs, man.
And that's another choice we did, which is our early versions and prototypes of the game. You could just yeet the orcs over any cliff, and there were just some like last minute changes we made right before launch that made it a little hard to do that. So that was one of my. There's actually a list which is like orc yeeting is a thing we got to get back in. So it is a little easier to kick them off of cliffs now than it was.
Found it.
What is Kuzdul for yeet?
I'd have to ask David Stallo. It's probably some complex thing of like the act of falling, not your fault, or something.
Yeah.
I found the second stair if you want to go down.
Oh,
Ooh.
Where at?
where?
Oh, I don't know where we were about to go, but it looked cool. What's
This is
the?
dirt. Should we peek through here?
No. Oh man.
Oh, whoa. This is cool.
Okay, I guess we're going there.
Doesn't an item, certain item dispel that stuff? I can't remember.
Yeah, we have to
Yeah.
repair this, right? I don't have the stuff to repair it. You guys hop
What do you
along
need?
me.
I didn't bring
Yeah.
that with me. Weird.
Granted and True Port.
We're just all gonna die of shadow because we're not playing very efficiently.
Yeah, you gotta use the platforms.
This is Matt's stream we're talking about here. So.
Efficiency. Listen to you guys.
Don't worry.
Oh, there was
So,
definitely
all
some
of
times
those guys keep people up.
watching you guys playing. There was this like race against the clock. We were, I don't know if you guys know this, but the dev team were racing you guys in your play. We were like,
Oh,
we were like watching, and we were like, guys, they're gonna get to the dragon soon, because we were in the midst of finishing the last few bits. Like the first update we did in December, we redid a lot of the dragon fight to make it better. And we're watching, and so like we're watching, and like I was like, should we tell Matt to slow down because we need another week? And I was like, guys, we've got to get this dragon out before Nerd of the Rings gets there.
And it was like 4 days before, or something
I
like that. It was a
remember-
couple
Yeah.
days.
I think one of you
pressure.
didn't you beat it like the day before we put the update out?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just
because
beat it.
and our second to last stream, I was thinking, you know, because we were talking about how much there was left, and I was debating like, do we just stay up late and like do an ultra long stream and finish this thing? And I was talking it out on the stream, and Chuck texts me or messages me and says, "Don't finish today. We're about to
Yeah,
release an update." I didn't know you guys were like racing along the entire time, though.
The first time because, yeah, I had done it. I think I don't remember.
I put it down.
Yeah, that was one of those moments where I felt like I was being rather unreasonable to the team. I was like, guys, we have to beat them. We have to beat the influencers.
Oh my gosh.
And we were all, oh my god, we were so tired by December because we put
bet.
like everything we had into it in that last year. And I think in some ways, like this update is about us getting a chance to rest and look at what we have and, you know, play it ourselves. And And I mentioned this before, but I got to shout out to the community one more time. Like we really, I know that there can be, you can feel like sometimes you're writing a support ticket or write something, and there I go, dying again. Just die. I'm going to lie down while I say this compliment. Like we really do read all of those and compile them, and we're constantly pouring through the Discord, and we've got. I love our community. Everyone's so supportive, helps each other out. We've got strangely one of the most positive Reddit communities.
Wow.
It's
No small feat.
I know it's not really anything we've done. It's just kind of like I go on to Reddit and I'm like, oh, people are helping each other. This is great. So maybe there's just something about the game. But
It's a good game.
I'm gonna throw a Mapstone down here. By
in
the way.
another way too, I'm a big player of the Lord of the Rings Online MMO, and so is Yoiston. We've got Matt to play those too. But this game is very unique, very different, totally different game style, right? That's an MMO. This is a survival game.
yeah.
You guys have the same quality of the lore stuff, and so much so that I was thinking like, wow, you guys like drank from the same Tolkien Kool-Aid. You came up with these same, like, they're different ideas, but like
Yeah.
for retaking Moria and stuff, because they do that too in that story. It's a totally different story, but they're both like really good quality stories. Like,
Yeah, and theirs is in a different time period, and
it is
so
a different time period, but you guys are, like,
but those guys, man, I mean, I haven't met them, I don't know them, but from kind of like game recognizing game, like those guys they've got such a great reputation. And Corey, I know Matt, Corey Olsen, and he plays that game a lot. And really kind of there was a moment where we were like, guys, we have to make sure that if anybody wants to go square foot by square foot and talk about every little art choice, it's got to hold up. Because we see him do that in Lord of the Rings Online, and we're like, don't put that food on that table unless it would be there in this age, because someone's going to bring it up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now,
you guys did a great job. That was my compliment. Really fantastic.
Now we had some discussion in the chat about price on the game, and I don't know what it is this exact moment, but I know you guys have had it go on sale for like 50% off. I want to say it was as much as 50 or 60% off at one time, and like you guys have had it on sale. I think it might even be on sale right now.
Yeah, that's a great point. We feel really confident that just like sort of like pound for pound or hour by hour, it's one of the best values out there. The price is permanently, we've moved it down to $24.99. So when it's on sale, it goes even lower than that. And so if you think about how many hours of gameplay are in this, and then how much more we've added with Sandbox, I think we on the dev team feel really proud that the players who want to enjoy this game can really get it for a good price.
It's and you can like invite your friend, right? You can be like, hey, get this game. It's $80. And I'd like to point out there are $60 and $80 games that are not even nearly as good as this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and our friends at the Epic Game Store have been awesome too. I mean, they've been really supportive. And when we had questions about Unreal, they were really supportive of making sure that people heard about the game. And so our friends at Epic have also been really awesome to us as well.
That's so cool. Well, we'll continue to.
Oh,
show
Justin died. Justin's up there. He's dead.
I can tell you, I will play many more hours
Oh.
on my channel.
Now, we had Wancho. Yeah, Xbox will be later this year, so it's not
Xbox will be this year. I will say I have gotten in trouble for giving what the estimate at that moment was. I always feel bad when I'm off on that, but we are going to get Xbox out this year.
Teleport to Durin, guys.
Oh, teleport to where?
Teleport
Me.
to the first stair, right?
Are we teleporting to our base?
First stair? Is that where we're going, Durin?
I'm at the second stair.
Second. Oh, you have a map?
Oh,
I
oops.
see it.
Oh yeah.
I must have picked the wrong one.
Nice.
The Warden's
I'll
got a
catch
question
up.
here. Could we possibly get some throwing axes in a future update?
Oh, that's a great idea.
I don't know where he came from.
And I want to make the throwing torches a little better too.
I have arrows sticking out of my head right now, and my beard.
Nice.
Well,
This
you
looks
were an
pretty awesome,
adventurer.
actually. This
Where
looks
did I end up? I went to the wrong
this
stair.
looks fantastic.
He was fine
Look
until
at
he
that.
took an arrow to the neck.
I've got an arrow in my beard. No, it's just like sideways,
that's-
so it's like decorative.
Yeah, it's
The
decorative,
helmet-
yeah.
The helmet looks like I'm wearing one of those helmets where it goes over top.
Yeah, you're pulling a Steve Martin bit there
Yeah,
to age
I
myself.
like it. All right.
Oh, second stair. Oh, Thor is at the. Did you just like Thor? Are you all the way at the bottom? Whoever's playing Thor.
Oh,
That's Justin.
Justin,
yeah,
are
Justin
you at the-
is.
Okay, I'm gonna Peter Pan all the way down. Can you res me when I die?
Sure.
Okay, here
I
we
gotta
go.
watch this happen.
Everybody
I gotta watch
clap your
this happen.
hands.
There he goes.
There he goes.
Oh, I didn't make it all the way down to him. Oh no.
Ow.
That was the
Clap
worst
your
case
hands.
scenario.
I believe
How
in
much
dwarves.
fall damage did you take?
I
I-
took 100,000.
100,000.
Thanks, Thor.
Is that 100,000 just an arbitrary number that you guys threw and said, no, you're dead?
Yeah, basically.
That makes- that
We were like, we want you to know what killed you.
not gonna say
This
I
is the worst
tested it.
case scenario. I didn't make it all the way to the bottom, so I'm stuck in the middle.
I'm coming down.
I do look very dramatic in this corpse pose.
Yeah, the death animation is pretty awesome. And also that crunching sound when you hit the ground.
Oh.
It turns my stomach every time I hear it.
Mic check 1 2. Am I finally
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, well, hello.
We just
Thank
thought
you.
you were silently pensive this whole
There he
time.
Yeah,
is.
we just thought you were really focusing on staying alive, which is why you've
I-
only died
How
twice.
far are
I
we
use
down?
that NVIDIA broadcast with the AI voice cleanup stuff, and sometimes Discord chat does not,
Oh,
or it
That's what
like,
you get for
loses
using
connection.
AI.
yeah.
Hey,
No
I
AI.
have another
Soulless.
discussion about AI.
You soulless robot.
Hey, you said no AI. What's the difference between procedurally generated terrain and AI?
I was just yes anding the group.
This is where you get the game dev to quit. So
Oh, I see an ancient secret 150.
hmm
Wait,
Clicks
okay,
away.
who am I following?
I love the
Because,
naming
like,
that you guys did on this.
Follow during the death list.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, did I go too far down? I'm in the second deep.
Durin, I'm probably gonna die on you, so we'll see how much
Oh,
help
the
I'll be.
king's mines.
Oh, you're good. Look at you. Oh, come here,
Oh,
you.
you guys are up a level.
Oh. Nope. I died. Oof. They hit hard.
Yeah, they do.
Yikes.
Well, here we go.
Oh, that was awesome.
I
They're all
love the
lined up
sats.
over there.
I'm coming, Yoist.
They're coming in one at a time, and I'm just gonna take
Mhm.
them out. Nice. Set them on fire.
So I'm seeing a question in chat, wondering if there's going to be a switchboard.
Ooh, I'd love a switch port. That's maybe my answer.
Thanks, Alan.
If we did switch, I think it's Switch is kind of a different device. It's got a different player profile and a different
are we all here?
technology. So it would be interesting to do a Switch port, but I suspect it would probably not be exactly the same game.
All right. Oh yeah.
I'm coming.
Okay, I'll try not to mess it up this time.
I'm not gonna click it.
Don't join it.
Hold on.
You'll mess it up.
Oh,
I'm admiring.
No!
I-
Who did it that time?
It
wasn't me.
Oh, I'm
Was
still
that
singing.
going into the melody, man.
I can still hear the singing at least.
I still
Oh,
hear the singing. Just
cut off for us.
Oh man.
Hey, so what happened to me there? Because on that Mapstone I said second stair. Didn't you all say second stair?
Yeah.
We
But I
went
ended up
down.
at the bottom, and you guys ended up at the top.
Well, there is a thing which is the mapstones basically have a radius around them, and if the system can't place you in that radius right next to it, then it tries to find the next safest place for you to do, so you're not like falling in an abyss or something. And so
Okay.
sometimes if you do a mapstone, you end up in a weird space. It's probably because like they were all the obvious spots were blocked.
Yeah, like everybody teleporting
And we did-
at the same time.
It's the
And we
same
did go
time.
down quite a ways after teleporting too.
Do not go to the end of the hall there like you would normally
Okay,
go to
so
the
I didn't do anything
stairs.
wrong. It was just we all teleported at the same
At the same time.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a big bug over here.
I mean, Matt always teleported right next to his good friend, that one dragon or whatever at the
Oh,
bottom
yeah.
of the staircase.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
There's a
Every
big red wall
freaking
at the end
time.
of that.
The
Oh, look at that.
Uh-huh.
Well, Alpha. Okay.
Whoa!
Hello, Alpha
That-
Bug.
That's meant to be there. Hey, just
Yeah.
own it at this
This
point.
is a
you know?
crossover with Minecraft.
Yeah, that's
and,
supposed to be.
here's
Don't,
the-
don't even worry.
we'll
That's
just,
interesting.
This
Okay,
is why we
well,
call it an alpha preview, folks.
let me
this is
uh,
why it's called the
let me
alpha.
let me mark what time in the video it was and go get.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you
that ain't
want-
gonna work. That ain't
If
gonna
you
work.
want any group to break this game, it's this one.
Yeah. Okay, good
we
to
will.
know.
We'll find a way.
I'll write that bug report right after this.
Oh,
That is.
Guys, it's the message. This is a message.
It's a message.
We're in the Dwarven Matrix.
They changed something. We're gonna see a cat walk by, and I'll be like, "We didn't put cats in this game.
So what about snack cats?
We did." Okay, I'll ask you guys. What do you think? If of all the domestic animals, what animal
To
would
eat?
a dwarf have as a
Oh.
pet?
Okay, so my dog loves
Monkey.
like over sticks. So yeah, no, I don't think dogs are the answer, but I'm just like,
I really like how the Lord of the Rings Online does this with the cave, those
oh, the
cave claws.
crawlers. Yeah.
Cave crawlers, yeah,
Mm.
like I feel like it would be something we don't quite know. It'd be something found in a cave. I'm not sure what.
Like
Yeah.
an underground creature.
Mole?
Yeah, a mole.
A mole.
A mole.
Yeah, like a naked mole rat, or maybe the gravelings,
Mole
the,
rat.
Oh my
the,
god.
the diamoon.
You know,
My
I
kids
would
would go
actually,
nuts if it
I
was
would
naked
say-
mole rats.
I would say parrot.
Oh, that's very very
Ravens, for
pirate
sure.
theme,
Exactly.
bearded guys.
Or
Or
maybe like-
canaries in the
Canary.
mine.
They would
Yeah,
they would want a
canary.
companion on their shoulder as they dig, talking smack to everyone else.
Would it not
I
be a raven, though?
I pitched an idea that cat pets would be the best to have because they could follow along. They would just screech and hiss if an orc got near, and if they just disappeared for hours at a time, you'd be like, "Yeah, that's a cat."
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You wouldn't have to, the AI wouldn't have to be perfect.
that's true. A boar
that's really
would be
funny.
good, too. Like a pig, like a little pig.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
I-
We
I
also
need-
we also talked about mountain goats, like because
oh, yeah, that'd be a
That'd
good
be
one.
cool.
I had this idea I kept pitching of like you'd have a mountain goat pet and he would follow you around with stuff and you would you wouldn't have to worry about climbing because he would just go away and then you'd look and suddenly he's halfway up the cliff face and like how did he get up there?
That would be cool.
that would be
cool.
awesome.
I would like.
Well, this should be fun.
Have you thought about probably not since we have teleports, but like mounts in general, like with pets?
Oh yeah. Oh man, it's hard enough to get the
I love
That'd be
this
fun.
freaking axe. I don't know what it is about the axe, but like it throws the orcs.
Mine's
It makes me
better.
laugh
It
every
turns
time.
into Fire. It burns. Mine burns people. Mine's better.
Interesting question from chat. TT says, "Any plans for the ring you get from killing the dragon?"
that's one of
Oh,
the
yeah.
yes, I have a plan for that.
Cool. There you go.
Don't throw
I
it
noticed that.
away.
I was gonna say I have that in my my worn down ring found in the belly of the dragon. It seemingly has no effects.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. Super
That's
cool. I'm excited to
that's
see
all
it.
that's all I
That's
want to
troll.
say.
You guys,
Oh, let's
you
get
just
him.
talked about
I got
having
him.
a cat or
Oh,
a
yeah.
canary. I would love a little pet that shows me where the path to catch up with my team.
Oh,
Oh,
whoa! We just got
Oh
one shot.
crap! Oh crap!
Uh-oh.
Well,
gosh.
We did
Res the
significant
developer.
damage
Res
to
the
them
developer.
already.
He knows
worry.
something. Oh
Someone
crap.
is here.
no, I don't know.
Finish up the troll.
I was the one that was like, let's take the troll out. Easy.
I went with you. I've got a light.
Oh, he's
based
on
that
fire. Oh, flaming troll. That's
Come on.
got to smell really bad. There we go. Someone better at
Yeah.
combat than us did it.
I did about 2,000
That's my
damage.
flaming
The
axe. Thank you very much.
Man, my health.
The red axe of Nogrod.
This tier 6 thing is crazy. What is
How
it
the
called?
I forget. How do I heal myself?
Baraka.
How do I get healed?
Well, you need some limbus or food, or mirror.
And
So
a better attitude.
your mention of Nogrod just sparked a question for me.
Yeah.
I've never gotten to ask anyone who's done an adaptation of Lord of the Rings this before, but
Mm.
how was it kind of navigating and taking your footsteps around the lore that you could use
Yeah.
versus the lore you couldn't? How'd
Yeah.
that go?
Yeah, this is my third Lord of the Rings game, and this one was actually, ironically, a little bit more straightforward because things based on the movie, like the first game I made was Lord of the Rings: The Third Age, which is
Oh,
the-
I loved that. Yeah.
yeah, that was my first professional game, 20 something years ago.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So you know, when you're working on the movies, you're not just talking about the complex licensing
here.
of the books, but also
There's
what
a-
was created
oh.
by Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
So for this game, you know, we had the 3 core books and the Hobbit, and there's a lot in there, you know. Again, that goes back to our relationship with Middle Earth Entertainment, and it would be, I would kind of have an idea, and I would pull like reference from the books and say this is where it's referenced, and you know, there were a couple of little rules, which is like, you know, you could like Nogrod and Belagost we could mention because they were mentioned in the appendices. But if there was like a line that we'd have to be careful about, which is going too far towards describing the events of the Silmarillion, and
Right.
that's where the edge of our license was. So things that were predominantly in like the Lost Tales or the extended stuff, we would. But there was, you know, it's really surprising. Just those 3 Moria chapters, the section of the Council of Elrond when Gloin is talking,
Yeah.
and the appendices on
Appendices,
Durin's
yeah.
Hold. There's a lot in there.
Yeah.
So we were able to derive a whole lot of things from those sections.
That's awesome. What was the second game? So you did Third Age.
Yeah.
The second
gonna
game
ask
was one that didn't ship.
Oh.
It was at EA. I don't know what I'm allowed. I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about with that one.
I was gonna say, was it the White Council game?
Yeah, it was the White Council. I was
Wow,
I was the one of the content designers, and I was one of the lore masters. But that was when I was like, I get to read these books and get paid again.
I remember being so excited for that game too.
Me too.
Yeah, you know, that was again that I've sort of, you do game dev enough, you get through these cycles and
Yeah.
you know, cycles of boom and bust, and that was one of those cycles where it just wasn't, you know, it's not really for me to talk about what happened with that game because
Yeah.
I wasn't the director on it, but and I've still talked to a couple of the people that were on that game, and cool promise, and I think all of us that were on it wish it had been able to go further, but that's how it is. The people that have been working with me for a while, there was a 7-year run at the beginning of my career where every other game I worked on was canceled.
Oh my god.
And to the point where my friends would
I
joke-
died. First death on the new build.
It
Dang
was the point where some of my friends that I worked with were trying to figure out, is this an odd John Paul game or an even game? And
Oh
so,
no.
Oh man.
luckily I broke that streak eventually, but
Well, we appreciate you stuck to it because
Yeah.
awesome, and Third Age
Yeah.
was an awesome game too.
Yeah.
I think the most fun thing about that game was the creative director is a guy named Chris Tremmel, who's awesome. He used to call the idea of the game Grand Theft Hobbit. And
Which game was that?
that was the White Council. And I think I'm probably already at the edge of what is professional for me to talk about. But
All right.
Oh, this is North Plus.
So
That's
when do we
awesome.
get
but
a
I-
prancing pony overcooked?
that's well, you know, I mean, I shout out to our friends at Weta Digital, who I don't know very well. I've met them once, but they just announced Tales of the Shire, which I'm not involved in at all. Haven't seen it or anything like that, other than it's just a fan of Lord of the Rings, and it looks cool. I'm excited. I'm excited to play that one.
I have an interview forthcoming on the channel.
Oh, you probably know
Next
more than I
couple
do
weeks.
then. Very cool.
I might. I might.
Love it.
Exclusive over here.
Very cool.
It's already
know
gone to
some-
his head.
I
It's
know some things.
It's already gone.
Oh, Yoisen's chest.
Yeah, I accidentally revived.
Oh.
You know that, Matt, we were talking maybe a couple months ago. I remember you said something to me that was like, well, making another game in the Fourth Age would be really fun, but you may have just told the only Fourth Age story worth telling.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I want to pitch another fourth Age game. So that's something we're still kind of brainstorming, like, what would that be?
I mean, there's the grand scale end of the Wars of Men, right, between Rohan and Gondor and the Men of the East and South.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's true.
We can get a
Go into-
Gwaihir,
go
we can get
into
a
old
Gwaihir
man-
Flappy Bird.
You could go into old man
nice.
Aragorn
Close.
territory.
Yeah.
We're,
Essentially.
When do the men of Gondor start hunting hobbits for sport? Is that the 5th age or 4th age?
Justin had the best joke today. He texted me because he's looking at doing an article for the One Ring website. It was the best joke. He said that he was going to reread Lord of the Rings, and I just thought he's so funny. Reread as if he's already done it once.
oh, brutal.
You've been holding on to that one all night, huh? You were like, I'm going to bring that up.
I was kind of busy when he texted it to me, and I didn't. I that's normally something that I would say in the moment, but I didn't have a chance to send my snarky reply. So I held on to
These
it.
rooms.
So you waited for a public audience
I waited
Yeah.
stage.
I'm
for
glad.
as many people as possible to witness it.
My mic's gonna break again. But
I love these rooms where like the ore is just overflowing.
Oh yeah, where it's like covering
these
up
are
the
new.
statue.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
cool.
There's one, we haven't found it, but there is one room that is, I think, almost entirely collapsed voxels. So hopefully your frame rate doesn't drop too much there.
Looking ahead to any other ideas as well, are you guys married to the survival game genre, or?
Well, you know,
that's a good question.
any talk of another game is you know, there's so many things that go into that, like
Totally,
everything
totally.
from like what my company needs to do, what offers are out there, you know. So it's all just kind of fun to speculate.
Yeah.
But you know, we're pretty focused here, so it'll, you know, for my friends that when White Council stopped, I was always said, okay, when's the next Lord of the Rings game? And it was a pretty long dry spell till this one.
Fair.
So I don't want to take it for granted that I'm getting to do this on this one. But of course, I still speculate and kind of think about like, well, what would it be and what would be fun, and
Yeah.
so and let me drop my pickaxe.
Because I'm just curious if you guys would lean into RPG territory or a larger warfare type, like if there's any interest in genres such as that, or would you guys want to stick?
If I got a chance to make another one, I think I'd want to stick with survival crafting and the Fourth Age, and that's only because if you just look at the history of like the great games, like if you just kind of named what are your 5 favorite games, almost all of those are games with the team got to stay together, make more than one game, similar tech, same genre, and really, you know, start to build
Hone their
expertise.
craft kind of thing.
Yeah.
Totally. That makes
So
sense.
as much as like my game design ego likes to think, oh, we could make any kind of game.
Sure.
I think about like if we were to make another survival game, let alone another Lord of the Rings, we'd be starting. You know, we'd have a 1.5 year head start on what it took on this game. So
That makes sense. Oh,
yeah. So you know, you just a little bit of professional jealousy. You look at the awesome guys at Larian that made Baldur's Gate, and you're like,
yeah.
those guys made that. That wasn't like they just woke up one day and like we're making RPGs. You know, that's a focus. You know, the guys that make Hades, where it's like same team, same tech, same kind of game, and really hone their storytelling. So that's what I think my next thing would be. how much of the core team can we keep together? How
Yeah.
what can we do to kind of leverage everything we learned on this one?
That's awesome.
Roving
Yeah.
Ranger asks if you could if you could add pack animals to like carry stuff for you and travel around with you.
That I mean, that's kind of where that goat idea was. Is
Oh really? Oh, that's cool.
well, we were really feeling like, oh, if I'm playing alone, man, you know, it's gonna be hard to kind of move stuff around. So the goat is one of those things that it's like it's our white whale.
Yeah.
One day we'll make a goat friend, you know.
That'd be really cool.
When you work on a game long enough, you start to get almost like little inside jokes and little like team memes, and so the goat is one of those. And for a long time, Eric the Raven was like robot generated voice until we had the voice actor come in, and the way that robo voice of Eric the Raven just said "ack," so it would be like, "There is a curse, ack." And so the team
Like a
just
Billy
started.
Joel song?
Yeah, exactly. So the team just started like that became our like this is cool shorthand. So we'd be in like a Zoom call showing off something, and someone would have a cool VFX they're showing off, and everyone in the chat would just be like ack. So that and the goat just kind of became like our own little inside jokes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The goat would
Oh
be
my
really
gosh.
cool.
We need more.
Yeah, so we're building kind of like a rest spot here for those in the chat curious. I saw someone ask about the Daggerath for a video game. That would definitely not be in the
Not in our
existing
license, but
middle-
man, that would be insane.
Yeah, it would be amazing. But that
I had
that's-
an idea a long time ago. When I used to think.
Game of
We had, when I was back at the EA Lord of the Rings games, we'd go to lunch and we'd brainstorm and we'd ask each other, what would you do with the Silmarillion? Like, what would your game be?
Yeah.
And, you know, you get like, oh, we should do Baron and Luthien. And let's do Baron and Luthien. That would be the right story. Or Daggerath would be one. And I was always the crazy one that was like, we should do the whole thing. And you make an elf and you're immortal. And it's like a Mass Effect RPG party. And you're just like walking along, and then one day you realize like the human in your party is like the great grandson of the first human you had, and you're like, oh, okay, you know, and like the stars would wheel over you as you walk around, and suddenly it was like 1,000 years later. But
Man.
that would be an insane game
That
to
would be
make.
cool. That's a really cool
I-
idea.
All right, are we sleeping right
So-
now?
I think we're missing cloth. Someone needs a bed.
This is some
running
some
in place.
horrible irony. I got stuck in a ladder, inside of a ladder.
Ah,
Oh no!
Coming back to get you.
Someone
I
break
think
that
somebody's gonna
ladder.
have to cut me out.
how the turntables.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Nice.
The ladder's betrayed me.
No, unshippable.
You can't wield the one ring. I mean, the one ladder. Nope.
Yeah.
I had 3 cloth scraps if someone has
yeah.
a few, if they have less than a full.
Anyone
Awesome,
have cloth
thanks.
in their inventory?
Yep.
I saw a couple other folks were asking about any plans to add water features. So I guess like
Oh, we've talked
fancy,
about. I
like,
think someone in the Discord was pitching. I think when I was in there about wet farming plots, so that you
Drawer.
could form like farm cranberries. So
He
that's
is still on fire.
that's something we're thinking about.
oh, Thor's dying.
Oh, we gotta. All right.
I'm gonna go get Thor.
Oh, now we got a bunch of orcs coming after us.
Uh-oh.
Bring your face to my sword.
There you go.
I love this axe. Just
That's the best thing I
Throwing
did tonight was
orcs.
bring that axe with me.
Yes.
You know, the orc voice actors must have had way too much fun.
Oh my gosh, the outtakes with the orc actors. I have to say, so if you guys play in the Elven Quarter enough, you will hear the line, like, who ate Shagrat? Go brutalize them. And that was like kind of an improv our writer Farah did. And it was so funny that in the session we were like, keep going, just record more. And then when we shipped the game, I was like, oh, we put all of those in. So most of the experience of the Elven Quarter is the goblin men wondering who ate or did something to one of their friends, and
Good.
because it was just so funny. And the and I should get there's a video of the actor that does the Troll King does not look anything like that voice. We're sitting there, we're like, could you do a voice that sounds like this? And then he just suddenly starts doing like this kind of nasally, snotty, do you like what I've done with the place? Like, yeah. They had a lot of fun.
Hey, man.
But have you ever just kind of like crept up behind the orcs and listened to them chatter?
Yeah,
Right,
it's
wanna
awesome.
Okay,
We
Thor,
did
it's
right at
just
the
you, man.
beginning.
He's
I'm
staring
finding
at
out
his rock.
cloth. Hold on. I've got
It's like I'm holding a rock.
He's gonna throw it.
I
at
love
you.
how he
Oh,
holds the
man,
rock up
sorry,
to his
don't
ear
throw the
like
rock.
he's listening to it.
Yeah,
This is like a
He's-
red
you-
versus
you
blue.
said rub the rock on it.
it's because he has so much isolation from falling behind. It's that rock is like Wilson in Castaway.
My rock.
Right.
Okay, wait, is everybody
All right,
resting?
keep Rooster
I'm
Teeth
sleeping
hanging.
with
Yeah.
my
There we
rock.
go.
Yes.
There we go.
Don't
Shout
make
out
fun
to
of my
Rooster
rock.
Teeth.
Yeah.
I mean, so you were who was
Katie-
saying that? Oh, good.
Oh, so
Rooster
Katie
Teeth
asks, how do you find voice actors for your game?
Well, we've got some great professional partners. So we have we have a team in LA that does our motion capture and helps with our sound and voiceover. So a woman named Billy is on that team, was our producer that helped, and she had some great contacts with a studio called Side LA, and they've got casting agents and recording studios, and so we basically wrote up kind of here's what we're looking for, and then they would reach out to their network, and we would get auditions and listen to them, and we also it was important to us to have I say native speakers, but like that people's accents were their accents.
Yeah,
So most of our voice actors were done out of London.
Oh,
very
okay.
cool.
Well, again, you ever need someone to work for free? I'm obviously joking, but I do voiceovers.
Well, one of the
I'm an
voice
amateur, but I'm getting
actors.
there.
Awesome, that's great. Yeah. One of the dwarves voices. So the one that we did here, when we were doing our very first demo back in early 21, we needed a voice, and there was a voice actor, a professional voice actor that just happened to be in the gaming group with our executive producer, and we were like, hey, could you just do like a quick couple of voices for our demo? And he did so good at it, a guy named Danny. He did so good at it when we were casting. We were like, we need them to sound more like Danny, please. And
That's awesome.
one of the weirdest things for Dave, our executive producer at the time, he like plays games with this guy Danny like multiple nights out of the week, and so suddenly he'd be playing our game and hear his friend that he's used to playing, Deep Rock Galactic with, and it's like, no, it's just a voice actor. So he had a very surreal experience.
That's pretty cool. Deep Rock Galactic's a fun game too.
Yeah.
I was laughing at again your line you said, rub some stone on it.
It sounds like a deep rock.
Yeah, because in that they say something is different, but they like,
Yeah.
like, they pour like beer on it to wake 'em up.
Yeah, we are very supportive of the team on Deep Rock Galactic working to get a dwarf tag for games in Steam for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah, dwarf games unite.
That was really cool.
I do love dwarves.
Oh yeah. I think,
What's not to
we got
love?
that all in common.
And we're back.
The dwarves are back.
Is there
That
anything from the outset of starting the development of this game that you were like, man, we want to put that in there, and then it never quite came to fruition, or maybe not yet?
Yeah, I mean, with all game dev, it's you can write a document and make a plan, but until you really have artists and engineers and game designers and musicians come together and make it happen on the screen, you never really know. You know, you can use your experience all you want, but you never really know if your theory. So it, in some ways, it almost feels like the scientific method. You know, you have a hypothesis, and you put it on screen, and you're like, oh, that is not as fun as we thought it was going to be, or like, oh, this is great, let's double down. So one of the things that we really wanted to do was, I was mentioning this actually before the stream started. We wanted ropes, like. You know, put a rope, climb a rope, swing on a rope. We had some of our early concept art had a lot of like what would happen if 3 dwarves are on the rope kind of stuff. But it, you know, it was one of those things where it turned out to just kind of not be as fun. You know, you didn't really have control over your swinging in the same way. And when we also realized, hey, this game is going to really sing in multiplayer. Oh, we're going to be back at our bug wall here. When it was really going to sing in multiplayer, I think the effort to make sure that, like, if I'm on the rope and you're seeing the rope swing and there's not lag isn't hitting it, that was one of those things that we were really, really bullish on and thought was going to be really fun, and ultimately had to back off of. So would have loved to have gotten to that one.
I think that's you guys made good choices.
Thanks.
You pick the things that made it really fun, but like obviously, so it didn't just, you know, because even if something's really fun and a game implements it and it doesn't work good and it annoys people, then it makes people not want to play, and you didn't do that, so it was good.
Yeah.
You really did good choices.
This spot right here may be one of the most, the amount of people we've watched bring the Kool-Aid Stone back to here. And I'm like, oh, that's, you know, I could sit up here and be like, oh, I knew everything about the game, but that's one of those things where day one of launch, I watched a streamer do that, and I was like, how did I not? 3 years of this, how did it not occur to me that someone would want to do that?
I think we did the same thing.
I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, that seems so obvious. How did I miss that? So anyway, yeah, you never know everything about your own game.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you have to think about a million things, right? So.
Well, and that's where having a really good team helps too.
Yeah.
Is you get, and I was really, I mean, I think we were really blessed to have just a team that we always called ourselves Team Good Vibes. You know, we'd have these Friday play tests and Friday meetings, and it was always about, you know, showing off your work and showing it even when it's messy and not done, and everybody being really supportive. So it really, I think in 20 years of dev, I think this was the best team I've ever worked with. So
yeah,
really, you know, I hope they're listening because they really were awesome.
It sounds like, with everything you've said tonight, that that team was very cohesive, very kind, very everything. And how did you guys stay so close during, I'm sure, like, stressful processes?
You know, it's hard to say. You know, I wish I had some magic. I should have given a talk at Game Developers Conference, but you know, I think it's just good people that all kind of loved the subject matter, and we all had that bonded to us. And you know, a couple of the other leads on the team, they all just sort of bought into that idea that we need to support each other, and that there's a time for critique and there's a time for just being happy that something is cool. And so knowing when to do that. But it was hard. I mean, it was hard being remote, you know, trying to figure out how to make a game when we're not all in the same room. And that those weren't easy challenges. And we had a lot of false starts. You know, we probably, I think we redesigned how we made the game almost as many times as the game. Because poison. One day.
We got our resume.
I was gonna say, before you do, if you notice my beard, one of the 3 beard
I see it. It's wiggling.
Strands.
braids, is wiggling
Yes,
in a different direction.
that's classic.
That's the
I actually love that.
that's the programming intensive
It's another
God.
it's another good reason to just play a lot of games too, because whenever I get kind of down, like, oh man, we should have been able to fix that bug, and then I'll go play some other like AAA game, and I'll be like, they've got the same bug as
They
us.
got it. Oh yeah.
Their feet are sliding just as much as our feet slide.
Oh,
Oh
whoops.
wow.
Okay.
Oh, no.
We have a troll here.
Yeah. What is that?
Oh, I love him on fire. That is so cool. Oh, why am I? Okay. I really am not prepared for this fight. I've got no food.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
Ugh.
we'll get it. Inuus got this. Oh god.
Well,
all right, you got this.
It's the boss wood.
I'll do my
I'm
best.
enough boss wood. I
Oh,
can't.
Solon.
I hit the
We'll
button
never kill
again.
Solon Iron Shield.
Oh.
Jeez.
Right, at least we slept last time. I'll be-
Oh, he just killed a sheep with his stone.
Res me.
Oh, you don't get the goat.
Zolin, if you can res me.
I'm sure any team members that are watching this are just know that
Yeah,
they're
there
probably
we go.
watching us play chaotically, going, "Oh, Jumpo's got to hate that."
It's
All right,
the-
Robert, thank you again for another super chat. Question for devs: I'm curious what you/free range games are doing for security to protect our data. Do you outsource security services? Do you guys host yourselves? If so, are doing server hardening, external pen tests, third-party audits, etc.?
That's a great question. I probably am not going to be the right one to give that level of specific answer. But we made a choice because we were not going to be a live service game. We weren't going to have microtransactions. We didn't want to do anything like that. That we made sure that we were compliant, like GDPR compliant. But multiplayer is peer to peer. We don't have anything in between. Once you put in your code and we match you, we don't have anything in there. And at this moment, we do some very minimal anonymous tracking just so we know kind of how many people we're playing on a given day. But it's very low touch. So we don't have any players' data stored anywhere.
Cool.
Cool.
I'm
And
sure
I
that
learned more
I'm sure my
about-
lead engineer is like, there was so much better answer than that, but he's gonna DM me tonight and he's like, you should have said this. And I'm like, oh yeah, that would have been a better answer.
Hey, you know what?
I'm
That was-
gonna
that was
die
pretty good.
again.
Yeah,
I'm
I need
glad
some
that you guys didn't do
food.
the microtransactions. I think it's just been really nice to have just a game that's good to play.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked on
Yeah.
mobile games. I've worked on free to play games, and I think there's a place for that. You know, I'm a
Oh,
huge
totally.
I'm a huge Marvel Snap player. Like that's my whenever I just sit and like I've got some moment to myself, I'm like I could doom scroll or I could try out this new Red Hulk deck. And it's got microtransactions and it feels right.
Definitely.
So there's a place for all those kind of things. I just feel like this kind of game, wasn't right for us. So
Anybody have any
Well, I
boss
think
wood?
kind of like Larian, you guys did such a good job.
Let's
Oh,
see
wait,
here.
wait! I got one. I got enough.
Oh, okay.
'Cause I remember you were saying
Alright.
about like how Baldur's Gate did so good.
I love that game, man. That game
It
like
was
destroyed so much of my life. I was like, work on this game, and then I'd go home and play Baldur's Gate, and
yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, and of course they had. I mean, I'm assuming you probably played Divinity too then, as well.
I played a little Divinity 2. I kind of bounced off of it, and I've got a couple of friends that love Divinity.
I'm a big fan. But I like Baldur's Gate better.
I weirdly.
Built it up.
I don't know if this is telling on myself, but maybe it's just because I'm at my computer all day, kind of making games. Like when I sit down to play on my own time, it's not like research for another game or a genre I'm working on. I kind of want I kind of want to be on a Disneyland ride and just like get in a flow and just like, you know, because it's hard to play the same kind of genre over and over again, especially this genre. And so games with a lot of reading text, I just kind of fall asleep. And it's not because I don't love those games. I think it's because it's like between making games and having a kid, you know, when I finally get to sit down and play, it'll be like, you know, 9 or 10 o'clock and then my eyes are tired. And so I'm like, let me just hear the Star Wars theme. Let me just kill some stormtroopers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Just like, I just want to battle.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a mix. But there's a lot of games I've got, like, you know, Pentiment, games that are just on my list that I'm like, I really want to play that. And then I sit down and I'm like, oh, text. And then, of course, I write the games and I'm like, everyone is going to read every word I wrote, right? And meanwhile, I'm a player that's like, no. So,
click, next.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm notorious for doing that. Like,
Nothing is more
clicking
painful than
through.
like, oh yeah. Or like doing a play test and you're like, this one line of text is going to explain the entire survival crafting loop. And then you watch them like next.
Yeah.
And then they'll write on a survey, I didn't understand how survival crafting worked. And I was like, all right, we got to do this differently.
Oh my gosh, that is
Yeah.
so true, because like I was always that guy, like even like for example again Lord of the Rings Online, I just click next, accept quest, move on, right? And
Yeah.
like now for like my job, I do voiceovers in that game, reading them.
Oh, nice.
That's like I was like, because
How
I was
cool.
the guy that was like, I think it's boring when there's no voiceover, right? And they'll voice over some of them, they do, but I mean they have hundreds of thousands of quests. So I just do voices
Nice.
of the characters and read them through. It's
I like how you were like, I kind of do voices, you know, on the side, and then like a little later for Lord of the Rings Online. Like that's not a little thing. That's awesome.
That's fair. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I never thought I'd start doing that. It just popped in my head one day. I was like, oh, well,
How
thank
cool.
You, Lord. That's a great idea.
Oh,
I
we're in the
make
DS4
memes.
world.
That's
Jean
fun.
Paul, whenever you want.
Piggy makes memes? Yes. The ultimate meme maker.
I've got enough for that tiled hearth.
Oh, let's put that down so we can play with the decorations.
Yeah, we should look at some stuff for
2 hours later, let's look at some decorations.
Well, you've given us some great.
This would be a good place to do it.
Yeah, this would be a fun one. You get little like glowing mushrooms and.
Bats.
Oh wait, we got a building over here. We
Oh
can,
my
push
gosh,
through.
so many bats.
All right, so I want to ask you guys a question because this was something we debated a lot, and don't say you liked my idea just because I'm here. But
Don't tell us
we-
which idea is yours.
we
Or is it-
debated. Okay, I won't. I got a good point. Let me rephrase that so it's not me centric. Like we debated whether there should be lava in Moria.
We had someone in the chat ask about
Excellent.
if you dug deep enough, would you encounter lava? Actually,
That was it was a long conversation about whether one of our biomes should be lava. I won't tell you where I landed on it.
So, the first
We all vote.
thing that
You want us all vote?
I mean, it's not like if we all vote for lava, lava's coming in the next update or anything. Nothing like that.
We answered the question. Yeah.
I mean, the first thing that comes to my head is when the Fellowship is running from the Balrog towards the Bridge of Khazad-dûm, and I know that there was a lot of fire in that part of Moria, west of the Bridge of Khazad-dûm, in that section of the book.
uh-oh, I might die, guys.
That's the only kind of indication
Of poison.
lore-wise that I can think of, but
Yeah,
2,
Alright.
1.
we're gonna
Oh
make
no, it stopped right before I died.
perfect time. We did that on purpose.
Where do you
We
want
did that
to
on
put
purpose.
All right. Let's.
Maybe like up in here. We got a little structure we could rebuild.
So this is
Alright.
the structure that blew up the one time you wasted it. You now it shouldn't.
oh, yeah, no, yeah.
I've got so
You,
much
you
stuff.
have to move out of the way.
Oh, look at all this food I've got.
It won't let me build with you in the way.
Okay.
Zalin, you have a new fan.
So
in
yeah,
chat.
I don't know about the.
So the other
How
question
about
I'm
the
curious
lava?
about
Yeah.
is mine carts, rail,
Oh.
not just the carts and the chains, but rail. That was another debate we had. We went really deep on
Yeah,
about
'cause
whether there should be rail.
Rails seem like too modern of an invention, right?
Hmm. That was kind of what I felt.
As
I had
fun
trouble
as it would be
visualizing
to
it.
like to like
might be too
recreate Temple of Doom a little bit, and have like the minecart through race through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that'd be too modern.
We need some true. We can make these lamps now. We need some true quartz.
I have
All
that
right,
as well.
so consulting
What would you like to see?
the source material here, right? Gandalf, the Fellowship's running from the Balrog. Gash, muttered Gandalf. I wonder if that is what they mean, that the lower levels are on fire.
On
Still,
fire.
we can only go on. And so the light became...
That's fire because of the Balrog. That's not like.
No, it was at the bottom of the chamber, I thought.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was.
Oh.
Yeah, 'cause they're running from the Balrog.
If we want to get into a debate that isn't about this game, I love to debate how big is the Balrog 90% of its time.
He's man-sized but great.
Yes. Because he
There you
couldn't have
go.
opened that door, the Gandalf, if he was some giant beast. He was
True.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
No,
that's- yeah.
there's some really cool illustrations that I've used in my videos and talked to the artists and conveyed that I adore their version of the Balrog because it's like it comes across as, gosh, I don't know how to describe it, but it's just like a very tall man shape, but it's wreathed in flame and shadow,
Right.
and so there's like this
Yeah.
magical quality, and it's
right.
demonic.
And wings. Is the wings a trick of the shadow, or does he actually
Yes.
have wings?
No, it's a trick of the shadow.
Matt answers
Yeah,
definitively.
definitively.
He's like,
I
I've done an
think you
entire
would-
video on this.
I did an entire video on why they
You
don't
did.
have wings.
That was a good
He's
video.
like, I think you're an
I
expert.
agree with the video.
I mean, I think that the image or the art that you had Ralph Damiani make, right?
Yeah.
It was that version, right? So
Yeah.
No, he actually, I think he did that. Ralph did one for another channel.
oh, was it okay?
Oh gosh. I want to say his last name is Castanon or something. Is the guy who's I'm thinking of, but it's the Balrog is kind of like floating in the air a bit, and he's got this
Yeah.
big long whip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always loved those
He's kind of human.
depictions of
right?
Balrogs,
Oh.
where they're more humanoid.
So
Cool.
with the lava question, there was a fissure with fire in it, but whether or not that's lava, up for debate.
See, that sounds like flame, not
Flame.
lava.
Could have been a gas, natural gas.
Yeah, natural gas, oil on fire, I suppose.
If you need more true quartz, I've dropped some over here for you.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I want to put some of these lamps up.
I don't. I guess my answer would be is I don't think the game needs lava, but like I feel like maybe lore-wise, I would think there would be lava.
Boom.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I would
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, there we
Right
go.
kind of land.
Ooh, look at that lamp.
Is that not?
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, like
Are
moths
you
to the
guys
flame. We were all
forgetting
over
the
here.
most thrilling scene in the Battle of Five Armies where
Oh, no.
the dwarves escape on a river of lava on rails in a wheelbarrow?
That's
it's the best of both
manufactured-
worlds.
And that's
That's
desolation. of Smaug.
manufactured molten gold. It's not lava.
Yeah, and that's desolation.
That was
Yeah.
a pretty cool moment.
That was.
I
We're-
I mean, I don't
I
mind it.
I may
We're
be
just being stingy at this
doing?
point. It's okay.
I
Oh,
may be
sorry.
I might be an outlier, but I like all three hobby movies.
It's
I'm
a
a
mine.
fan.
It's
I like them
both
too,
things.
I like
It's
them.
lava and it's a minecart. So why not both?
I saw the first.
It's a wheelbarrow. It's a wheelbarrow.
Well,
It's not
in
a
this
minecart.
game, it's a
Oh.
minecart.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
I saw the first Hobbit movie on my honeymoon in New Zealand, so it was like.
I actually
Right.
enjoyed the high frame rate. The high frame rate 3D.
I just
Because
agree with you on that.
I don't generally like 3D movies because the motion blur.
Mm.
And yeah, so like once I kind of, because the first 10 minutes or so it felt really weird, and then I was like, I'm gonna pretend that I'm looking through a window into Middle Earth, and then all of a sudden it was like something shifted in my brain, and I was just like, I actually like this.
Oh, cool. I'm one of those people that turns that off on every TV.
Oh yeah. Well, when it's artificial, yeah, but like they actually shot it in that, so I don't think it's as bad as
Yeah.
the artificial stuff. But yeah, I get that.
You can't beat the casting of the dwarves in that movie. I thought were
gosh.
so cool.
They did such a
All
good
stars.
job. Smog's
Oh,
voice,
that's what I
too.
wanted to do.
Oh my
All
God.
right,
So good.
here we go.
I like these lamps though.
Yeah,
Put
the
some of the
lamps
small
do
ones
look-
up here.
Yeah,
Yeah, this new lighting is like leaps and bounds. Like I love
There
it.
we go.
I love it.
yeah. It does give a very different vibe. It's very.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
that's
good
cool.
vibes for sure.
Well,
Team
Yeah, you
vibes.
can kind of play with your color. Yeah, exactly.
So you think dwarves would be able to invent English muffins? Because I would love a McMuffin meal.
That's dwarven ingenuity.
Yeah, it is.
I definitely think dwarves are the ones that just invent things like bell roads, like your question was and stuff. Though, if there was going to be something, I know Tolkien said something about goblins would probably make guns or something.
Yeah,
But I think
they
dwarves-
probably would. Yeah, serve tools of the enemy. The food stuff is one of those places where we went so far and like we just got so excited about all the different kinds of food dwarves would eat. A little later, we were like, they all kind of do the same thing. Who cares? It's fun food.
Oh, I love it.
so
Yeah. I like the new furniture and the little like scroll thing. That's
yeah, the scroll books. Yeah, those are kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks really good.
They're mentioning the nameless things in the chat. How did you guys decide on that design for the nameless
Yeah,
creatures?
that's a good
That's
question.
a great question.
Yeah, that's a terrific question. We we know we needed something in the darkest deeps that we wanted to be really scary, but we also wanted it to feel a bit like a gamble. Is it always deadly? Am I fine this time? And we, myself and the art director and our concept artist were talking about like what would something be that would turn the corner and you could stare at it and not know, is it going to leave you alone or is it going to attack you? And so then we had this idea of like, it would be dark and what would something that would go kind of like dim. And then when it got bright, it was going to attack you. And so that's when that's when we thought about like, the idea of, obviously like being inspired by the art of the Balrog being kind of shadow and then suddenly being lit up with flame, and we thought that was really cool. But we had so many ideas on the board, and ultimately you got to make trade-offs and can't do everything that you want. But we talked about like mini watchers and there was a lot of different things that we had talked about, and then that was the one that felt like we could really pull off. And so we leaned on that's just one nameless thing, and who knows, maybe if we get to keep making updates, we'll make some more nameless things, and they'll all just be nameless things.
You answered my next question. That's literally what I was gonna ask. I was like, do you think you'll ever make any other models of nameless?
Well, we had some problems when we had multiples before. We ultimately couldn't do all of them, but we had some different ideas, but they were all nameless things. And at some point, the art team was like, "Well, what should we call this one?" And I was like, "I can't name it." So,
Oh, man, that's funny.
yeah, so we were like, all right, we're only gonna have one. That'll solve that problem.
Yeah. I know. I think. I bet you, Lord of the Rings Online ran into that same problem because they made illusions, and they did start naming them, but they named them like very evil space-sounding monster, like Voidier and Nameless Horror, and like all they like to categorize them. So,
Well, I mentioned when I was on Corey's show, he has a show about like adapting things, and one of the things that I mentioned on that one is part of adapting. I've worked on a lot of different licensed games before, and part of adapting someone else's work is trying to get at the tone and because you can. It's very easy to kind of think of Lord of the Rings as history, and that there is exactly a thing that happened. But I like to kind of look more at the tone of what was the vibe and the tone that Professor Tolkien was trying to get at. And so everyone's got their own line, their own internal meter of what is a step too far. Like when you go too, because when you go too far, you can kind of go too far, and then it can feel like, oh well, that's not true. Like Captain America wasn't there at that time. Why would he? How would he know who? Like how would he be able to do that? And so there's a sort of like logic problem of some things, but then there's also, so you could kind of go, well, that doesn't make logical sense. Like Merry and Pippin wouldn't be in Moria in the Fourth Age. That doesn't make sense. They would be somewhere else. So there's a sort of taking it from a historical angle, but then there's the other angle of tone, and I think there are things that you can do that can go one step beyond, where maybe you could squint and go, yeah, I can see how that could happen, but it doesn't feel right. And finding where that is so hard, because everyone's got a different line and every developer's got a different line. So it's a hard challenge, and you have to kind of just try things on. And ultimately, I think, when you're making a game, you're making something for the players, and you want it to be fun for the players and enjoyable for the players, but you can't take yourself out of it. You still have to be you're making a creative work for yourself and for your team also. And so we would just debate endlessly about where is this on our line. And I think we ended up kind of finding a line, and some things were, naming eldritch creatures for whatever reason wasn't something that we felt was right for us. And that was just the choice we made. And I think other teams can make different things. And, I think even like the food, like we made a choice to have lots of kinds of food, even though mechanically there wasn't a lot of mechanical space for us to play with. And so we could have had much fewer food and brews, and everything felt very mechanically different. Or we could go with the vibe. And, if you're a person that came to our game from survival crafting, they may look at a lot of our mechanics and kind of go, oh, I don't know. There's other games that maybe do this a little bit different or more to their taste. And if you come to it from Lord of the Rings, it may feel like home. And so those are just the choices that we made.
Beautiful.
Okay, so what's the... Sorry, guys. I'm trying to travel to our base where all our stuff... Our first base. Does anybody know what that's called?
I think it was in the first level, right? Is it the
Caverns of the Second Deep.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, we're in the Second Deep.
So second
Caverns
stair,
Deeps.
one.
Oh,
Okay.
I found a bug.
Ah, there it is.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait. No, that's where you guys are now.
Don't let them know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you. I found a bug on my screen.
Where?
I'm gonna write it.
Do you know which one I'm talking about?
An actual spider.
Yeah, an actual spider. That's all I said.
I was looking for our one where we had all the pallets and stuff.
Oh, was that? That wasn't the Eastern Bastion. It wasn't the first mine. Did we
Western
make?
Halls?
Did we make a mapstone there?
Yeah,
I thought
we did.
It's not the second.
The second
I
level.
bet it's the first stair one. I bet that's it.
First stair one. Yeah.
Because it's not the Eastern Bastion. We did that later.
The second level.
It's second level.
Did we activate it?
Yep.
I did.
Because I don't see it in the second level.
It's should be the second stair, I think. Is that?
All right. Well.
I'm gonna try it out. I'll see.
Oh, I hope I didn't insult someone in the chat talking about Captain America. I love Marvel. I'll just wait here until you guys tell me which one it actually ended up being.
Someone said any plans to tame any bird life would make getting feathers a lot easier.
Oh man.
Oh, like farming and animals. Oh gosh, that's a whole system, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I would love to get to that.
The Western
we're,
Hall.
we're not.
first
We're not.
mines.
Western Hall.
Have a little
Okay.
pig
Yeah.
farm.
First mines. Okay.
There we go.
That would be cool, but that sounds like a huge undertaking.
There
Yeah, I
we
mean, it's
go.
on. We talked about we've got lists of things that we would love to do, and domestication is one we've talked a lot about how to do it right. Because I want the Diamoon as a friend.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah. Which one was it, guys? The Carven Second Deep.
Shoot. What is
I think it was the first mine. Oh, the one we're at now.
it's the-
This is the Cavern Deeps.
No, the one that I'm at. It was the
one?
western
West
something.
Western Halls.
Yeah, that's
Listen
it.
to mines. And they call it a mine.
Mhm.
Mine.
Well, I think I'm coming up on my time, guys.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we can wrap up here.
Well, I mean, by all means, you don't have to stop because I'm going to stop. But
No,
you got
I still have to.
We're all
record a
adults.
script tonight.
Yeah.
So,
I'm so
We don't
glad.
have the energy we had before.
Yeah. Unlike our dwarves, we must sleep.
right? Yeah.
well, I have to say, we on the dev team really enjoyed watching you guys play. We're really glad that you've been enjoying the game, and it really makes us feel good that you guys get so much enjoyment out of it. And so we want to keep updating this sucker, and I can't wait for everybody to play it tomorrow. And tomorrow, fresh and early, wake up and grab the update. And if anyone in the community is playing, and grabs the update, jump into our Discord, put in support tickets, write in your feedback. We read those things, and we want to do another version, and then once we really feel good about it, get it out on PlayStation, and then onward to Xbox and Steam.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right,
Well,
floor length
for-
beard win. I need to.
Literally, I'll go
Thank you
price
so
that out.
much.
All right.
We'll continue to support the game. It's awesome.
Yeah,
You guys do a
absolutely.
Great
And
job.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's been an honor to talk to you. Thank you for all this
Yes,
work
indeed.
that you and your team do. It's amazing.
This was fun. I think I missed my call-in. I think I need to just be a streamer. This is
Be a
fun.
streamer, yeah.
Come join us.
The heck with
You
this
need a
development
seventh
stuff.
dwarf, man.
Yeah, anytime, man. I love it. I mean, you'd think I'd be sick of playing the game, but I'm not. It's as you can tell, I've got a long ways to go to be good at it.
Well, it's one of those that especially when you've got a group of people together, it's just fun to keep playing. Like there were so many nights where we, would look down and be like, oh my gosh, we've been streaming for almost 3 hours without even really realizing it. It's wild.
We just played 2.5 hours, and I don't feel like we accomplished anything.
Right? Yeah.
This must
the
be your
beauty of
first
it.
Matt stream.
Right? That's
Yeah.
That's a trademark of that's how you know you've been on a Nerd of the Ring stream, when 2.5 hours fly by and you don't feel like you accomplished anything.
Yeah.
Fun.
And so you guys are going to wrap up
Yeah.
then?
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and wrap up now, guys. For those of you who might be watching this later, definitely leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of the update as you've dived into it. Have you decked yourself out with some new armor? I've got this new awesome helmet. I feel like with this sword here and the helmet, I kind of feel like maybe this is because I've been watching a lot of Shogun, but I feel like a samurai right now with
That
this
show
new
that
sword.
show is
It's like how
that
you're
show is
holding it.
so
too.
Oh,
that
it's
show is
so
so good.
good.
It makes me want to go
So
back and
good.
play Ghost of Tsushima again.
That is such a good game. Yeah.
Such a good game. Yeah.
All right.
I feel
Well,
like
the
I've been
game-
shouting out so many games tonight.
I know, you're just shouting out all these other games. Don't forget about
Yeah, don't forget
John
about Return
Paul's
to Moria.
yes,
Return to Moria. Yeah, go
Return
buy
to Moria. Return to Moria updates coming out. And we did get confirmation from John Paul that it will be coming out on Steam later this year, as well as Xbox, PlayStation. So stay tuned, follow Return to Moria on socials, and be sure to update your game tomorrow so you can get some of this new cool armor and everything. John Paul, thank you so much for joining us and taking time
Yeah,
out
thank you.
of your schedule and everything, and just hanging out with us, and also answering a ton of questions from the chat.
Yeah, thanks guys. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks, John Paul. It was
Thank
great
you.
to meet you.
Thank you.
Yes. It was
All
nice.
right, guys.
Thank you.
Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you again to all the group, to Yoiston, Men of the West, to Zalin, During the Deathless, Justin from the One Ring, Higgy. Is that it? Did I get everybody?
And
I think I got
And
it.
I'm Voice of the Rings on YouTube, so people don't. confuse
Voice of the
me.
Rings,
AKA
yes.
Zoll.
Hey, Matt,
Yeah.
thank you for having us, man.
Yes,
Appreciate
of
it.
course.
Thank
Yeah.
you so
Thanks,
much.
Matt.
It's always
Appreciate
fun. Always fun. Well, hey, thanks again, everybody, for watching, and we will see you next time on Nerd of the Rings.